If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Hello, good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Tuesday, June 30th. Cloudy today to start, but a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 19 expected. We'll get you a full forecast in a moment. Right now, the news begins. And we say good morning to Lisa Best.
Good morning, Ryan. Thank you. 19 active wildfires across our province this morning. We've had 4 new starts in the last 24 hours. But no new fires on Vancouver Island heading into Canada Day. A lot of people will have the week off with wilderness plans. A fire south of us continues to smolder in Olympic National Park. The weekend rain definitely made a dent in the flames, but the Mount Tom Creek fire continues to burn with slow creeping behavior. And personnel are developing contingency plans to ensure staff and visitor safety in that particular region. The body of a missing inmate from William Head Institution has been recovered from the water. Ernest Jensen was found near the shoreline along William Head Institution by RCMP and Machosen Fire Department. West RCMP continued to liaise with the Correctional Services Canada and the BC Coroner's Office to determine the circumstances surrounding his death. He escaped from the minimum security institution in Machosen midday Sunday as questioned squirrel as to why a hardened criminal was housed in a minimum security institution. The BC Nurses Union says it's willing to talk about a new contract. This is the union issued a 72-hour strike notice yesterday that will place it in a legal position to walk out on Thursday. The Health Employers Association of BC has reached out to representatives representing some 60,000 nurses in this province. The union president, Adrian Gear, says the mandate of the association has from the province has not changed.
Certainly, after giving notice, we have received word that the employer wants to return to the table, and we're happy to do so. The employer also made clear, at least in their message to us, that while they are committed to negotiating a collective agreement that meets the needs of nurses, that they have no ability to go outside of mandate.
Health Minister Josie Osborne say people will continue to get the health care they need as the Labour Board has robust processes in place, which constitutes essential service. Lights have been off and on in Sydney and North Saanich quite a bit this week. 3 times, in fact, if you live in the neighborhood, you know, because you've had to watch your fridge and freezer a lot. Each of the outages has impacted over 8,000 customers. 2 were caused by downed trees, the other from animals. It's not unusual for large outages, but there's complicating factors. BC Hydro spokesperson Carla Lowers explains that 5 circuits are tied together because of a substation work that's being done there.
So we've been working at the substation since early June 4th, and we expect to have it complete by July 9th. These outages, you can never plan for an unplanned outage, but, having 3 outages to the same customers in 1 week, we did relook at how we've got those circuits configured, and we're working to reduce the number of circuits that are tied together so that if there is future trouble or, another fault in the power line before we complete that work, fewer customers will be impacted.
She adds there's increasing visual inspections of the lines as well to deal with any problematic vegetation that may be growing on top of them. Think blackberry vines. The Pride flag is now flying high at Victoria City Hall to mark the Pride Festival. Mayor Marion Also, the city's mayor, says this is a very important gesture.
To make the deliberate decision to raise that flag in front of City Hall is to say, yes, we know you're here. We welcome you being here. You're part of our community, and that's important to us.
9 additional flags representing the community will be displayed on the Pandora Avenue side of City Hall. The flags will remain in place until July 13th. With New Brunswick's unpaid sick leave law now, all 10 provinces in Canada have some sort of job protection for people who need extended time off due to serious illness.
People with illnesses such as cancer can take up to 26 or 27 weeks of unpaid leave without fear of losing their job. New Brunswick was the last province to increase job protection for workers. It adopted a law allowing up to 27 weeks of unpaid leave for illness and injury recovery, up from 5 days. Quebec has had long-term sick leave for more than 2 decades, but the rest of the country only introduced similar rules over the last 2 years. The wave of change came after Ottawa in 2022 extended unpaid medical leave for federally regulated workers to 27 weeks and EI sickness benefits to 26 weeks. Brenda Molina Navidad, The Canadian Press.
And in business news, the $139 million an Ottawa-based tech company just raised will put the firm in a new echelon. Dominion Dynamics founder Elliot Pence says the cash will help his one-year-old company grow rapidly.
We have a 30,000 square foot factory. We're probably going to go find a 300,000 square foot factory in either Montreal, Toronto, or Ottawa. Or frankly, even the West Coast.
Come over here. Pence says the bigger factory would also be able to support thousands of jobs, something BC is looking for. That's your news to 6:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question ahead of Canada Day tomorrow. How patriotic are you compared to July 1st last year? 29% say they're more patriotic, 8% less, and 62% about the same. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 6:07.
Thanks, Lisa. Good morning. Welcome to the day. Welcome to the day before Canada Day.
Right.
Canada Day Eve. That's not a thing.
Well, it could be. It's got a ring to it.
I'm
very
excited.
Positive.
I'm excited.
Me too.
It's going to be good.
Midday off. That's going to be very
midweek.
weird. Midweek.
We
that's
got
it.
a midweek holiday coming
Right?
at us.
Weird.
And the weather's actually looking pretty good. I
Okay.
think for some people, and we'll give you the details coming up in a moment. I think for some people, this is the ideal forecast because
Okay.
it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud with highs of 18. So it's not going to be blisteringly hot, but you know what? That is just such a nice, mild day. It's so pleasant. It is a pleasant Canada Day.
So no rain.
No rain. Actually, we were talking yesterday about how there was a chance of showers for Thursday.
Yes.
That chance of showers is now gone.
That's what July brings us.
No
a chance of
longer.
showers, and then it's gone.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a really nice, mild, pleasant week ahead of us. Actually, every day this week is going to be kind of like today, just sort of a mix of sun and cloud, highs in the high teens. And I guess I've just gone and done it. I've given you the full weather forecast, haven't I? I said I was going to do it later, and then I just went and did it.
Well, it was exciting because it was so pleasant.
And then there was no rain anymore, and then there was...
That's what the word pleasant. It just
It's a good word.
makes you feel good.
Texter at 71010 says, good morning. Fun Canada Day tomorrow. I really do like the idea of making some noise at 10 a.m. on Canada Day, singing our national anthem, and making some noise somehow. Yeah, I like that.
Is the 10 a.m. thing a thing?
I don't know, but...
Am I missing something?
Why not? I don't know either.
Oh, no. Anytime you want to belt it out, you go right ahead.
Texter.
We'll hear it downtown later a lot.
Texter at 71010, do elaborate. Let us know. Is 10 a.m. a time? Because if it is, I'll get out there. I'll make some noise too. Let's all do it.
And if you got a big party going on, let us know. We may not show up, but it's nice to share if you're going somewhere cool.
Well, you know who does have a good party going on?
Who?
Team Canada. Let's talk about the sports because we're going to talk about how Canada now has a date and an opponent for its round of 16 match at the World Cup. It's Morocco, which beat the Netherlands 3-2 in penalties last night. This was going on in Mexico, in Guadalupe. They'll face Canada on Saturday in Houston. 10 a.m. is the time. Morocco now ranked 7th in the world and will be favored to get past the resilient Canadian men's team. Canada beat South Africa 1-0 on Sunday in its round of 32 match. So there we go. We got Saturday all set up. We've also got the other matchup. Norway will play the Ivory Coast in one of 3 round of 32 matches going on today at the World Cup. France will play Sweden in East Rutherford, New Jersey, while in the late match, Ecuador will face Mexico in Mexico City.
Is Norway going to row their way in there?
Oh, yes.
I
Get the
just
Viking
love
row
that.
going.
I love that.
They have the fans really do have that cool thing going on.
You got 3,000 people, or I don't know,
all
way
doing
more
the
than that,
row?
doing the row.
Yeah.
It's the new wave. But it's the Norway edition. I just love it.
Yeah, it's actually worth, if you haven't seen a Norway game yet in this World Cup, maybe just dip into this one for a little bit.
Like going up the escalator.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
when you
and
do
then
the thing and you fake it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay. Okay, there's all the World Cup news. Oh, I just realized I had the whole World Cup report to play, too. I just
do it
went into
anyway.
it.
I just
Should
do
we
it anyway.
Do it anyways?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
well,
in charge.
Okay, well, let's just, so now you've heard my version of it. Now you can compare it to the World Cup report.
This is your TSN Radio FIFA World Cup 2026 update.
I'm John Rodenberg. It'll be Canada and Morocco in the round of 16 at the World Cup. Morocco advanced, defeating the Netherlands 3-2 on penalty kicks.
What a story in the Estadio Monterrey! What a clash!
The two teams had battled it out through 120 minutes, even at 1. Morocco tied the game in the first minute of stoppage time after the Dutch opened the scoring in the 72nd minute. Canada and Morocco will meet Saturday afternoon in Houston. In the biggest upset of the tournament so far, Paraguay finally converted on its third penalty kick attempt to win the game, defeating Germany 2-1. It's the first time in its World Cup history the Germans have lost on penalty kicks. There was also late drama for Brazil, which scored a 95th minute winner to defeat Japan 2-1. 3 more knockout games today, kicking off at 1 p.m. Eastern with Norway against Cote d'Ivoire, followed by France and Sweden, and the nightcap, Mexico meets Ecuador. You can watch the FIFA World Cup matches on TSN, CTV, Crave, and streaming at tsn.ca. Listen on the TSN Radio Network with all game streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
There you go. That's your World Cup report, and that's your sports. And a texter at 71010 is just reminding us of why 10 a.m. is the time to make some noise. Of course it is. I forgot about this. This is when there's this effort to try to get everybody in Canada singing "Oh Canada" at the same time.
That's right. Okay.
So 10 a.m., they want the whole country. If everybody could just go outside and sing "Oh Canada" at the top of your lungs. Thank you for reminding me of that. In fact, we're going to talk to that organizer later in the show today, I think, just to kind of refresh everybody about this, because it's sort of a neat thing. It's just a Victoria woman who just decided this would be cool. There's not like a commercial campaign or something here.
It was organic.
It's a very organic thing. I love that
Very BC.
She did it last year, and it kind of worked, and now she wants to see if she can make it even bigger. So we're going to talk to her later in the show.
Nice.
But now we got to take a break because we got your traffic and weather coming up in just a moment, and this whole morning show is brought to you by Thrifty Foods, where Summerfest is on now. Thrifty Kitchen's Kebabs set the stage for your summer barbecue. Choose from up to 8 ready-to-grill varieties. All right, now to the CFAX 1070 traffic and weather, where we are looking at a fairly clear day again. It's again just a very sort of commute-free kind of week, I think, with everybody off for the Canada Day week, or maybe it's the first week off of school. Whatever the reason is, not a lot of people have been driving this week, so smooth sailing there, no crashes. A couple of roadwork things to let you know about. We've had the paving on Cook Street, sort of north of Hillside. It'll kick in again at 7 a.m. this morning, so watch out for that. And then a new thing, this is the Bay Street Bridge, or Point Ellis Bridge, if you want to be more formal.
To not know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Bay Street Bridge, Point Ellis Bridge. Those two. Or that one with the two names.
Right.
They're going to do that overnight closure again. So tonight from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., they're expecting the bridge to be closed in both directions as they just finish up some of the work they've been doing. So these are those periodic overnight closures. One of them is coming back tonight. They actually plan to do it again tomorrow night, but they're going to wait until the fireworks are done. So when the Canada Day fireworks are wrapped up, they're going to kick it in at about midnight. This is tomorrow night, so I'm looking ahead here. But just a couple things to watch out for. In the weather, we already kind of talked about it in depth, but let's do it again. So we got clouds to start today, but it's going to become a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 19. A little breeze tonight, lows to 11. And then tomorrow, Canada Day, we've got a mix of sun and cloud, highs of 18 degrees. So just kind of a pleasant, mild day. Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, highs of 19. Friday, sunshine, highs of 20. Saturday and Sunday, sunshine, temperatures by Sunday getting up to the mid-20s, so warming up a little bit as we get further into the weekend. Right now in Victoria, the official temperature at the airport is 13 degrees. In Colwood right now, you're at 14. And there you go. Let's get to the CFAX 1070 news headlines.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Lisa, what's happening in the world?
Thanks, Ryan. The new Conservative leader, Carrie Lynn Finlay, has filled several roles on her leadership team with Loyalists. Finlay, who currently does not hold a seat in the BC legislature, has appointed Chilliwack area MLA Heather Maas as interim leader, while Prince George MLA Sheldon Clare is the opposition House leader. Both endorsed Finlay during the leadership race, as did Kelowna area MLA Macklin McCall, who will serve as whip. Finlay says the Conservatives are building a big tent party where BC residents of all walks of life are welcome. A key date for the critical North American Trade Pact is set to come and go this week. July 1st, tomorrow, marks the deadline for indicating support for renewal of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Trade Agreement, also known as CUSMA. While Canada and Mexico had said they want a 16-year extension of the agreement, the U.S. president continues to push for concessions from its closest neighbors. If the Trump administration fails to sign on for the longer-term deal, the annual rolling review of CUSMA will start and continue for about 10 years, at which point the agreement would expire if not renewed. And on the court today, something interesting. Tennis legend Serena Williams set to make her return to the Grand Slam singles action today at Wimbledon. The 44-year-old is taking on a player half her age, or so, 20-year-old Maya Joint of Australia. It happens this afternoon. It's the main attraction on day 2 of the All England Club. Williams returned to the doubles court earlier this month at Queen's Club with her Canadian partner. She then accepted wild cards to play in both singles and doubles tournament at Wimbledon. The latter she'll play with her sister Venus, something that's definitely to look forward to for tennis interest. And that's your news to 6:17.
Thank you, Lisa. We've got so many things happening on the show today. I just wanted to highlight a few items coming up to watch out for later at the end of the show. This is really, really fascinating. We are going to get a chance in studio to meet somebody who's been in the news a lot for a lot of different reasons. This is Ruby Liu.
Oh, there's a familiar name.
So we know that name, obviously, as the owner of several malls. We got the Mayfair Mall here in Victoria, also up in Nanaimo. You've got the Swanson Mills over on the mainland. So that's one of the ways we know her. She was also involved in a bid to try to take over the leases of all of the defunct Hudson's Bay stores.
That's right. Yeah.
Which ended up in a bit of court drama. In the end, it didn't work out, but some of the mall owners were fighting it. And anyways, it never came to pass, but she had this vision for trying to create this new kind of department store experience in these former Hudson's Bay department stores.
Yes.
So she was in the news a lot for that. And anyways, just a fascinating character. We've never had a chance to actually speak to her directly. Until now. So coming up at the end of the show, Ruby Liu will be here. I want to find out more about kind of what makes her tick and what she's got planned for some of these local properties she owns, and how that what was her vision for all of those Hudson's Bay department stores that she was trying to do, and with that not working, does she still have an idea to bring that some other way? Anyway, I got all these questions.
Maybe a different place too, and the fact that she's coming into studio with a translator, you'll be able to watch on CTV as well.
Yeah, exactly. You can watch us on CTV Vancouver Island or on YouTube, where we're streaming right now. So that's coming up. Lots of things coming up, but that's at the end of the show. Don't miss it. And right now we'll take a quick break because we got a different thing to talk about. This is to do with the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization, which, they do a lot of good work, but they need some money, apparently. In fact, they need to raise $250,000 by the end of September, they say, to avoid cutting their mentoring programs. that hundreds of local families rely on. So we're going to find out what's happened there in just a moment. So that's next on CFAX right after traffic and weather. Good morning. Let's take a look at CFAX Dead 70 traffic and weather. The time is 6:21, and it is going to be, I think, another easy commute today. This has been sort of the story of the week. I think a lot of folks are off with Canada Day falling in the middle of the week tomorrow. Not a lot of congestion right now at all. No crashes out there. Really nothing to see. They will have the paving work on Cook Street again, just north of Hillside, and the Bay Street Bridge will be closed overnight tonight, starting at 7 p.m., but that's not a thing right now. That's just sort of more of a look ahead. BC Ferries, let's take a look there. We've got no sailing waits, 7 o'clock sailing, about half full. And in the weather forecast, a mix of sun and cloud today. Eventually, it's a little overcast again to start. We did that yesterday, too, kind of started with the clouds. But as the day went on, we got some good sunny breaks. It warmed up quite a bit once you got the sunshine on you. And I think that's the story again today with a high of 19 degrees. Right now, it is 13.
The best way to start an island morning. Ryan and Lisa on CFAX 1070.
So glad you could be here. Let's talk about one of our wonderful charities that does some cool work around Greater Victoria. I mean, they happen all over Canada, but Big Brothers and Big Sisters do operate in Victoria with their mentorship program, but they are in a bit of a pickle. They need to raise $250,000, they say, by the end of September to avoid cutting some of their programs. Let's find out more. We've got Amanda Hill, Executive Director of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Victoria Capital Region on the line. Hello, how are you?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here early in the morning on a Tuesday. And I want to find out more about what's going on with you guys. And yeah, it sounds like you got a funding crunch coming. What's happened?
Yes, funding crunch is the word. So basically where we're at is we're looking towards the next, into the fall and next year. And we just don't have the funds available to continue our programs as we have them today. And that means the 600 or 500 youth that we are currently working with are going to likely see that support not continue, and their families, of course, and the staff who do that work. So some difficult changes coming if funding isn't turned around for us in the next few months.
Can you explain what's happened? So did like a funding source dry up, or have donations just not been keeping up, or what's caused the shortfall?
Yeah, it's a combination of several factors, not one sort of significant piece. But we get funding from several sources, and actually folks often ask us about that. Well, doesn't the government fund your programs? And they do offer some funding for sure, and that's provincial funding and some, the municipal funding. It's difficult because the costs of doing those services that we provide have gone up and up and up. We know that this is an expensive city to live in, and it's an expensive economy in all sorts of ways for everyone, and those costs are inflating for us as well, and that funding doesn't keep pace with the costs increasing. So yes, we do get some funding, but it hasn't gone up at the same rate as the cost of providing the services has increased. And then we also receive donations from individuals and businesses. And again, they're also feeling that economic pressure and not contributing as much as historically. Foundations that do support us are also having to really choose carefully how they give their funds and what their priorities are. And those kinds of funding opportunities are really, really intense because there's so many great charities doing work that the competition for those funds is really, really hard, and many deserving charities are after the same money. And then we also do sometimes events, and as we know, in our community, there's lots of great charity events. And for us, we haven't seen the revenue come through that we need from those kinds of events, and we're a small team, so we don't have the capacity to host a huge event that raises lots and lots of money. We also want to take the programming money and the funding money that we have and put it into our programs rather than put it into hosting events that doesn't necessarily give us what we need to continue.
So it sounds like a perfect storm of things just happening, causing this shortfall.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Combination. Yeah, definitely.
Let's just remind people quickly of what you guys do. I think Big Brothers and Big Sisters, people are very well aware of it, I think. But just in case you aren't, you give those mentorship programs to youth, right? Talk about what you do.
Yeah, so we provide life-changing mentorship for youth. We set them up with a trusted adult. We do one-to-one mentoring across 12 communities here in southern Vancouver Island. And what that means is somebody who needs a friend, needs somebody to listen to, needs a trusted adult, we set them up with that person. And not only do we match them, but we support them through their journey. Sometimes for years and years, they become so connected. And many times that big brother and little brother or big sister and little sister stay connected well after they graduate out of our program. And we support youth 7 years old up to 18. We do in-school mentoring where we have one-to-one matches that happen in school during the school day. We have a program called Be You for gender diverse youth and female identifying youth that we run in the schools and in the summer. And we have a program for youth who are part of the 2SL LGBTQIA+ community. It's called PRISM. And so all of our programs are offered free of charge to kids who need that person in their corner, that adult that's going to help them, listen to them, be there when they need somebody to talk to.
We're talking to Amanda Hill, Executive Director of the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Victoria Capital Region, and they are in a funding shortfall. They say they need $250,000 by the end of the summer in order to fund their programs coming for the coming year. We're out of time here, but really quick, if people are hearing this and want to help out, what can they do, or are there any kind of events coming up, or what's going on as far as the fundraising is concerned that we need to know about before we let you go?
Thank you. The best thing, the simplest thing, and the most impactful thing is just to make a donation, cash donation, online donation. Our website is victoria.bigbrothersbigsisters.ca, and you can just click the donate link right there. That's the easiest and most impactful way for us to get through this time of indeed pressure for our organization.
Well, good luck with this, and hopefully hopefully things turn around for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, cheers. Wow. You hear that a lot right now, just because things are a bit tough for people all over the place. And one of the things that is causing is, donations can be down in a lot of ways for charities and places like that. So there's another story of that playing out here in Victoria with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the local Victoria chapter of it. We'll take a break. We got the 6:30 news next.
Developing political story, a big doozy.
Vashi Capellos.
What started as a dull day is anything but.
The top newsmakers.
Your go-to political debrief. Daily.
What is really going on?
The breaking news.
Just moments ago.
And the entertaining analysis and debate to follow.
I don't think you can sugarcoat it. It's an issue.
It's not true, guys. Yeah.
Vashi Capellos.
There is a greater plan here.
Vashi Capellos. Weekdays 9 a.m. to 11.
Bigger picture politically, which
is on CFAX 1070. CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 6:31 on Tuesday, June 30th. It's a pleasant-looking day today and for Canada Day tomorrow, although we are starting with a little bit of cloud. Some sunshine on the way. We'll get you a full forecast in a moment. Right now, the news begins. Here is Lisa Best.
Just a reminder that Point Ellis Bay Street Bridge closure tonight, 7 to 7 overnight. And of course, at midnight on Canada Day, they'll close after the fireworks finale downtown. We're going to hear more on that from Victoria Mayor Marin Alto. She's coming up with us at 7:50 to talk about all the activities planned downtown in honor of Canada Day and what's expected to be a pretty big fireworks finale tomorrow night as well. The BC Nurses Union setting off some fireworks of their own, issuing a 72-hour strike notice just weeks after its members voted to reject a tentative contract offer. The union, representing some 60,000 nurses, say the action signals growing frustration by its members with the pressures facing their profession and the healthcare system. Union President Adrian Gear tried to reassure the public ahead of being in a legal position to strike Thursday if no progress is made in negotiations.
We understand that this announcement may cause concern for patients and the public. Nurses share this concern. No nurse takes this step lightly, and no nurse wants to see disruption in care. We have taken every step to ensure that access to patient care continues and that essential services are maintained in the event job action is required.
Gear says the strike notice is a demand for nurses to be heard and valued as they're facing increasing safety and burnout issues. She says job action could be anything from an overtime ban to a large-scale withdrawal of services, excluding those that have already been designated as essential. So they certainly won't be shutting down, but they'll be peeling back. 19 active wildfires across this province this morning, a far cry from what we've seen in previous years this time of year. We've had 4 new starts in the last 24 hours. No new fires on Vancouver Island, so let's keep that momentum going as a lot of people get out into the wilderness to go camping in this weird Canada Day week where we have a Wednesday off. A lot of people have the whole week off. A wildfire in the Northwest Territories has now grown to more than 100 square kilometers in size. It's creeping dangerously close to homes in the village of Fort Simpson. That island community of 1,300 people was ordered to evacuate to Yellowknife on the weekend due to the out-of-control fire nearby. Residents who stayed back in Fort Simpson have been told to shelter in place because the flames have now reached at least one highway west of the main town site. The MP overseeing Canada's foreign aid says Ottawa is going to match $4 million in public donations for Venezuelans still reeling from last week's devastating earthquake and subsequent aftershocks.
Randeep Sarai is Secretary of State for International Development and says Canadians have a strong affinity for the people of Venezuela. He says Ottawa will match up to $2 million in donations made to the Canadian Red Cross and the same amount for donations to the Humanitarian Coalition up until July 14th.
Sarai says this will help Canadian organizations with grassroots connections provide essentials such as food, shelter, medicine, and clothing, all deeply needed right now on the ground. The death toll in Venezuela has climbed to over 1,700 following those powerful twin earthquakes last Wednesday. Another 5,000 plus that people have been injured. Responders are still undertaking rescue operations, searching for people thought to be under the rubble. ABC's James Longman on the ground in Venezuela.
Teams from over 20 countries are working around the clock, dogs and drones, carefully navigating the collapsed buildings to find the missing.
Tell her to tuck her feet back in.
In hard-hit La Guera, where nearly 200 buildings fully collapsed, a U.S. team rescued a 51-year-old woman trapped after a 10-hour effort. And in Caraballeda, the rescue of a 21-year-old man who was buried under the rubble for 106 hours. We met the youngest survivor. Diana managed to keep her 18-day-old son, Juan David, alive for 30 hours under the rubble.
Amazing story. This morning, Venezuela searchers also plucked a small white dog from the rubble. But, of course, the search hopes are dwindling as the days pass. And that's your news to 6:36. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question ahead of Canada Day tomorrow. How patriotic are you now compared to July 1st last year? 29% say a lot more patriotic, 8% less, 62% about the same. You can vote at CFAX1070.com or the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 6:37.
Thank you, Lisa. Let's take a quick look at the weather forecast. It is cloudy. If you look out that window, you will see the overcast skies, but some sunshine is on the way, and highs getting to about 19 degrees. Right now it's 13. Full forecast to come. Right now over to the sports. And speaking of sports, texter at 71010 saying, hey, the good fireworks are coming tonight.
Right.
At the Harbour Cats game.
It's true.
Yeah, because you got Canada Day fireworks in the Inner Harbour tomorrow for the City of Victoria's Canada Day festivities on the day itself. But on Canada Day Eve here, we've got the Canada Day fireworks night at the ballpark. The Harbour Cats are hosting the Nanaimo Night Owls.
Yeah.
The game starts at 6:35. It's the beginning of a 3-game series for these two teams. But yeah, it's also...
I looked for tickets.
You looked?
Everyone's going.
Oh, is it sold
Everyone
out?
and their dog's going to be there.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's what it looks like. Here's one seat over here.
Okay, so maybe
which
some
is
tickets.
Rare for her. So you might want to check if you're thinking of going.
Okay.
There may be walk up, but from what I saw, it's like this is going to be a very popular, very full game tonight. And it's kind of neat because you got to hang out afterwards. Most people just leave.
Yeah.
And you hang out and you wait for dusk to settle. And then you see the firefighters out in the distance on the field. And the players help with it too. It's all hands on deck.
That's cool.
So it's actually really cool. But they do a pretty wild fireworks display because I remember watching it in past years going, it's over, right? Oh, no, we're going again.
There's more.
Oh, there's more. There's more. And so it was quite a joy to have it keep going on, thinking, wow, I got fireworks and the game.
Yeah. No, they do a great job there at Wilson's Group Stadium, Royal Athletic Park. The Victoria Harbour Cats in action tonight. And it's their fireworks night. That's pretty cool. And then in the majors, Toronto Blue Jays snapped a 6-game losing streak last night with a 2-1 win over the struggling New York Mets in the opener of a 3-game series at the Rogers Centre. So that's the other baseball story. And then over to the World Cup, Canada now knows who it will play on Saturday in its round of 16 matchup. Morocco is going to be the opponent for Canada. They beat the Netherlands 3-2 in penalties last night. So it was 3-2 penalties. Game was in Mexico. By the way, I was watching that one. The stadium in the Monterrey, they call it.
Yes.
What a stadium.
I
And just
know. They do it big, don't they?
the stadium was crazy. There's this like beautiful mountain behind. They kept taking like the vanity shot of the city.
Yeah.
And man, it just looked fantastic. Anyways, I'm digressing. I was just blown away by it.
You're right. So some of these stadiums are almost works of art in themselves.
Some of the American stadiums as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm not always a guy who watches a lot of American sports, so I don't necessarily see these things all the time.
Yeah.
And like
It's pretty cool.
I'll watch some hockey and stuff. I don't always watch the big NFL football and the things that these things take place in. But the stadiums are crazy nowadays.
There's a lot of money that goes into it, Ryan.
The ones that like open up like flowers. It's madness. Anyways,
when you got the money to throw into it, you could do whatever you want.
I'm definitely displaying my ignorance here, but these stadiums are crazy.
Well, it's
Anyways.
good though because we're all sort of jumping. Not all of us. Some of us, like Steve's, already on it, but getting on that soccer bandwagon. The beautiful game, getting into football.
And Steve, sports guy Steve, is often, because we've talked to him about the BC Place Stadium stuff with the Whitecaps. The Whitecaps aren't happy with the stadium and they want to find something else. And I'm always like, BC Place Stadium's great. What's wrong? And Steve's like, well, it's not quite keeping up with the Joneses when it comes to some of these things. And I never quite got it, what he was saying, until I started seeing these other stadiums.
He's patient with us, isn't he?
He understands. Steve. That's why we keep you around. Steve. What was I saying? I was talking about Morocco. Morocco's going to play Canada because they beat the Netherlands. By the way, Morocco ranks 7th in the world, so they're going to be a tough nut to crack when it comes to the Canada game on Saturday. But hey, I like an underdog story. That's what's going on. That's your sports to 641. CFAX at 70 traffic and weather at 642, and the roads are clear. No commuters. It's just a commuter-free week. Although I shouldn't say that. There are some people out there. It's just much lighter than usual if you are commuting today. And for the construction situation, at about 7 o'clock, we'll get the paving work back on. Cook Street, just north of Hillside, is this stretch. Sometimes even full closures or just obstructions for that stretch of road while they do that work all through the week. And in the weather forecast, we're starting off cloudy, but we will get into a mix of sun and cloud later today. Kind of like what happened yesterday. Sort of same story, same forecast, really. Highs to hit 19. A few clouds overnight. A little breeze off the water. Lows to 11. And then tomorrow, Canada Day. Cloudy to start. just like today, but then a mix of sun and cloud as the day goes on. We'll be a bit breezy off the Juan de Fuca Strait, but otherwise just a fairly pleasant day with a high of 18, mix of sun and cloud. Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, high of 19. Friday, sunshine, high of 21. Saturday, sunshine, high of 20. It's just kind of this kind of pleasant forecast. It doesn't change much.
I like the
very
word pleasant.
mild.
We keep putting the P word in there. I like it.
It's just right there. It's right there in the sweet
very
spot.
pleasant.
It's the Goldilocks forecast. It's not too warm. It's not too cold.
That's
it's
good.
Just right.
Yeah, I like it.
Right throughout.
Use that one.
Yeah, I like that. Right now it's 13 degrees. On the markets, well, nothing to say yet just because the opening bells have just rung out. So let me tell you how yesterday closed. S&P TSX down 156 to 34,823. The Dow up 306 to 52,182. NASDAQ up 522 to 25,820. These were all yesterday's closes. And the Canadian dollar and overseas trading at 70.3 cents US. Still kind of slumping there, down a little bit from the close.
Let's get started.
Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, we were talking about how the Harbour Cats have fireworks tonight for Canada Day at Royal Athletic Park. We've got the ones downtown in the Inner Harbour at 10:20, I think is the precise time. They'll be firing those off from the Inner Harbour in Victoria. But I got this texter at 7:10 saying there's also fireworks in Sydney this evening.
Okay.
And they do their parade tomorrow. They always do a great Canada Day parade.
So hold on. Sydney's having their fireworks tonight?
According to this texter.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because if you, for some reason, can't stay up late Canada Day.
Yeah.
Then you can check out the fire. Well, you can do double fireworks then.
You could.
You could. Well, you've got Harbour Cats tonight.
Yeah.
Sydney tonight.
Then you got downtown tomorrow.
Okay. There's lots of fireworks you can check out.
And actually, there's probably a lot more. So if you know of a cool fireworks display or Canada Day event that you would like everybody to know about, feel free to text us at 71010. Let's crowdsource this thing. Give us your tip. The Gorge Canada Day picnic will be happening along the Gorge.
Cool. Yeah.
This is where they close down parts of Gorge Road West between Tillicum and Admirals. They have like the fancy pancake breakfast there. They get a whole bunch of different stuff. There's a show and shine with some old cars. There's music.
Okay, vintage?
They bring out the vintage cars.
Excellent.
This thing is always a cool thing. I mean, those are just some examples. I could keep going. You can let us know. Yeah, and especially if you let us know at 7:10:10, what's the Canada Day festivity around Greater Victoria that you're the most excited about? Let us know. Right now, it's 6:46. Here are the headlines with Lisa.
RCMP believe that capsized fishing charter boat went down in very deep waters off the coast of Richmond. They say the RCMP underwater recovery team will arrive in the coming days to locate the boat using sonar. The cause of the sinking isn't known, but after an exhaustive search in the area in the Georgia Strait, police say all 6 still missing from Sunday's incident are now presumed to have drowned. No one was wearing a life jacket. A man has been charged with assault with a weapon after he allegedly hit a woman on the head with a piece of wood about the size of a baseball bat. This happened on a beach in Vancouver. Police say officers called to Kitsilano Beach on Sunday after witnesses reported seeing men pick up a piece of lumber and hit the woman from behind. Police say the man was arrested inside a nearby dollar store minutes after the attack. The victim is in hospital, expected to fully recover. All 10 provinces now have some form of job protection for those who need extended time off for serious injury or illness. New Brunswick was the last province to increase job protections with its new unpaid sick leave law, boosting the maximum from just 5 days up to 27 weeks. From BC to Newfoundland to Labrador, people with cancer or other illnesses can now take 27 weeks off unpaid leave without fearing loss of their job. That is your headline news to 647.
Thank you, Lisa. Let's just mention another one here as far as things going on to celebrate Canada Day. We will also have in Langford, of course, along Station Avenue, some activities going on there.
That's a hot spot.
This is where they've been doing a bunch of the other stuff. Like, isn't that where the
World Cup,
World Cup screen has been for watching those games? But they've also got food trucks and some live entertainment, family festivities for Canada Day going on there as well. So there you go. There's lots to go. Keep them coming at 7:10:10. Right now, though, something to check in on is water. Here in the capital region, I always say how blessed we are because we've got this big old reservoir that keeps us going through the dry months of the summer that we're about to enter into. But not all of the island is in that boat. The Cowichan Valley Regional District is launching 4 new water conservation rebates, trying to get people to reduce their outdoor water use and improve their drought resilience in the face of a dry year. I mean, dry several years for the Cowichan area. So we're going to reach out to them and find out how they're doing in just a moment here on CFAX.
Where the noise stops and the conversation begins.
Hey, it's Friday. Welcome to the Graham Richardson Show.
The stories that shaped your week aren't just headlines. They are the moments we live through and the decisions that change what comes next.
Let's take a closer look at that together.
It's national conversations. From major policy shifts to the fun, unexpected trends and friends everyone will be talking about. It is intelligent, unpredictable, and completely Canadian. Stay informed. Stay ahead. The Graham Richardson Show. Friday morning at 9 a.m. right here on CFAX 1070.
Hey, it's 6:50 here on Tuesday morning. What's going on the roads? Well, you tell me at 7:10:10 if you see a crash or something else affecting the morning commute. Let us know at 7:10:10. Right now, we're pretty much void of any kind of problems. There's very little in the way of traffic delays, no crashes. All of our major routes are looking clear. For BC Ferries, no sailing waits. And for the weather, that's also looking great. We've got cloudy to start, but it will eventually become a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 19. It's very much like yesterday's forecast. That's also what we're looking at tomorrow for Canada Day. Mix of sun and cloud, maybe a little cloudy to start, but then clearing up into a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 18 expected for tomorrow. Right now, temperature-wise, if you're in Oak Bay, you're looking at 14 degrees right now. In Brentwood Bay, it is also 14 degrees.
It's all here. News, weather, traffic, and community events. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, as we head into summer, parts of Vancouver Island bracing for some dry conditions, sometimes drought-like conditions. One of those areas we're checking in on is the Cowichan Valley Regional District. Their manager of environmental services, Jeff Moore, is here as they prepare to launch 4 new water conservation rebates to try to get people to reduce their outdoor water use and improve their drought resilience. Jeff Moore, thank you for joining us here.
Good morning.
Great to get you here. So I understand all this comes amid the region under Stage 2 water restrictions right now, talking about the Cowichan Valley Regional District, and you are ready to tighten up further on Friday to Stage 3 water restrictions. What's the situation like right now as far as kind of the dryness in the Cowichan Valley?
Well, I don't think it's any surprise to any of your listeners that it's been a pretty dry winter, a lot less snowpack than normal, and we've had drought conditions throughout the region going on throughout the spring, and we expect that to continue throughout the summer. So there's not as much water in the lakes or rivers or in the groundwater as we normally have, so we're trying to get people to reduce their water use.
And for the Cowichan Valley, a lot of your water does come from groundwater, is that right? Or also diverted from some of those lakes and streams and rivers?
Yeah, we've got 22 different water systems all across the region, and the majority of those are on groundwater wells. And then the municipalities also have some of the big systems that are on groundwater wells too in a lot of cases.
Right, so that's where your water is coming from, and there's only so much of it, especially when it's been dry for so long. So talk about the rebates you've introduced. What are these?
Yeah, so to help people out with being able to use the limited water that we've got wisely, we're offering an incentive program where people can get some money in rebates for various water conservation measures. So these are things like rain barrels and drip irrigation systems.
And how does the rebate work?
Yeah, so the idea is that you reach out to us, and on our website we've got a fair bit of information about the different rebates that are available, and you can look at what your property has in terms of what are you watering a little vegetable garden or a bunch of ornamental plants, and what you have in terms of capacity for roof area that you can capture water and store that either in a rain barrel or a cistern, or maybe it makes more sense to take an irrigation system and upgrade it to a drip one that uses a lot less water.
And I guess this could be for, if you don't have anything and you want to just put some stuff in or you want to upgrade what you have. It'll really be dependent, I guess, on what you got and what your situation is.
Yeah, and that's why we're offering a range of rebates that target a bunch of different ways of conserving water. So there's the smaller rain barrels, which are fairly cheap and easy to install in a lot of places. There's cisterns, which are basically a great big rain barrel that can store 1,000 gallons or 2,000 gallons or more, and that can supply enough water to really make a meaningful difference to your outdoor watering over the summer. And then things like drip irrigation and smart irrigation systems that really make sure that any water you're using is going where it's intended to get to the plants, and it's not being wasted through evaporation or sprinkling your driveway or things like that, which really aren't a good use of the water that we've got.
Jeff, I see it as kind of giving with one hand and taking away with the other. You took away a lot of the ability for their neighborhood to use water in ways that probably weren't water prudent for what you're dealing with a couple of weeks ago, and now you're giving back. Was there actually interest from the public that spurred this forward? Were people asking for this from you?
Yeah, this has been a topic that's been coming up for a number of years, and we've been building towards this. We did a survey over the winter of residents to see what kind of rebates might be of interest to them, and we also had a look at what a lot of other jurisdictions are doing. So the regional district in Nanaimo has a similar rebate program. So we're modeling after that. And, the program opened yesterday, and we've already had some applicants, so there seems to be some interest out there.
That's good. It's almost like a re-education, is it not?
Yeah, really with our water conservation, for the past number of years, the CBRD and a lot of the other jurisdictions have had water restrictions, so where we start restricting the types of water use that you're allowed to use. And it's really about prioritizing water use for those things that are really important, so primarily for food production and for being able to maintain the landscaping that people have, in a lot of cases, spent a lot of money on around their property. And then things that maybe aren't quite so important, like having a clean car or a lush green lawn. We don't let you use the water for that when it gets really limited. And the restrictions also are focused towards things like they're much more permissive for the drip irrigation and for hand watering. So these rebates and incentives are a way to help people work towards meeting those restrictions.
They did say they would possibly fine people who were, shirking the rules. Has that happened?
I know that within the CVRD and within some of the municipalities, there have been instances. I'm not sure if there's been fines issued, but there certainly has been warnings issued. And usually the first step in any kind of enforcement is education. Just talking to property owners and letting them know why sprinkling in the middle of the afternoon isn't the best for either the plants or for conserving water. And most people are pretty happy to comply once they understand what the rules are and why they're in place.
Well, the rules are there as we head towards what could be another dry summer for the Cowichan Valley Regional District. That's what we're talking about specifically here. And they've got this new program, rebates for different things you can maybe install to conserve some water. If you want to find out more, Jeff, give us that website one more time.
So you can go to cvrd.ca/water-rebates.
I'm sure you could just Google search CVRD water rebates as well and probably get to the same place. But there you go. If you're in the Cowichan Valley and that's interesting to you, check it out as we head towards summer. Jeff Moore is Manager of Environmental Services with the Cowichan Valley Regional District. I appreciate your time today.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all right, we'll take a break. We got the 7 o'clock news coming up and much more on CFAX 1070, including how you can win some tickets to see Pacific FC this weekend.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 7:01 on Tuesday, June 30th. It's a little cloudy to start, but some sunshine is coming our way for this Canada Day Eve. Right now, 13 degrees. We'll get you a full forecast in a moment. Right now, though, here is the 7 o'clock news with Lisa Best.
Thanks, Ryan. Good morning. Looking at dollars and cents here in this country. Stats Canada says our economy rebounded in the month of April with a 0.5% growth in real GDP.
A strong showing from the oil and gas sector helped power the economy at the start of the second quarter. Growth was otherwise widespread across industries, with manufacturing, construction, and the public sectors all contributing to gains. The rebound comes after a contraction in March dragged the first quarter of the year into slightly negative territory. The result had sparked talk of a recession hitting the economy after a pair of consecutive quarterly GDP declines, though most economists said that label was premature. Michelle Zedikian, The Canadian Press.
BC nurses could be in a legal strike position by Thursday. The union issued a 72-hour strike notice yesterday. Union President Adrian Gear says nurses have reached the breaking point.
We are demanding to be heard. Nurses are demanding that our work be valued. And we are demanding that government and health employers recognize a simple truth. There is no healthcare system without nurses. For many nurses, this is more than a collective agreement. It is about a profession that has reached a breaking point.
Gare says the strike notices demand for nurses to be heard and valued as they're facing increasing safety and burnout issues. She says job action could be anything from an overtime ban to a large-scale withdrawal of services, excluding, of course, those that have already been designated as essential. A defense technology company that has helped protect Canada's north has added another major asset to its arsenal, in the tune of $139 million. Dominion Dynamics founder Elliot Pence says the cash forms the largest Series A funding round for Canadian defense company ever in history.
I think it feels like an inflection point, not just in the country, obviously for the business, but it's critically important that we have investors that are willing to take a swing for the fences.
The round of financing Pence drummed up was led by Toronto-based venture capital firm Georgian. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre shuffling the deck, his front bench lineup. He's named Ontario MP Michael Chong as the party's new finance critic.
Chong is a veteran MP who served as the Conservative Foreign Affairs critic for the last 6 years. He replaces Jasraj Hallan in finance as the Alberta MP moves to the National Revenue File. BC MP Aaron Gunn is taking over the Ethics and Government Accountability critic role from Ontario MP Michael Barrett, who moves over to Veterans Affairs. Poilievre's senior leadership team, including his deputies and House leader, remains unchanged. Lisa Laporte, The Canadian Press.
Death toll in Venezuela has climbed to over 1,700 now. Venezuelan lawmaker Jorge Rodriguez said there's another 5,000 plus injured following those twin quakes last Wednesday. Responders are still undertaking rescue operations, searching for people still believed to be alive under the rubble. ABC's James Longman is on the ground in Venezuela.
The devastation is near absolute. Either every building completely demolished or very badly damaged. Rescue crews are still picking through the rubble. There is hope here that maybe, possibly, survivors might be found. A real danger, though, of unstable buildings coming down on these ongoing rescue operations, but increasingly now, with more bodies being pulled out, this is a recovery operation.
The death toll over 1,700. The MP overseeing Canada's foreign aid says Ottawa will now match up to $4 million in public donations for Venezuelans still reeling from the devastation. They say that with Help Canada organizations will provide essentials like food, shelter, medicine, and clothing. That's your news to 7:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question ahead of Canada Day tomorrow. How patriotic are you now compared to July 1st last year? 29% say more patriotic, 8% less, and 62% about the same. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa Best, news time is 7:06.
Thanks, Lisa, and good morning. Thanks for joining us here on CFAX this Tuesday morning. It's going to be a mix of sun and cloud eventually after some morning overcast, cloudy conditions kind of start to ease up, and a high will hit about 19 degrees. Right now, it is 13 in Victoria. Over to the CFAX 1070 Sports, where at the World Cup of Soccer, we are going to see a Canada-Morocco matchup on Saturday for the round of 16 knockout phase. That's because Morocco beat the Netherlands in penalties last night. They had a tie game, 1-1. And then 3-2 in penalties was the result for Morocco in Mexico, in Guadalupe is where that game was taking place. So, yeah, that is the rank up Morocco ranked 7th in the world and will be favored to get past the resilient Canadian men's team, the Canadian who beat South Africa 1-0 on Sunday to book its ticket to the round of 16. Also, what's going on? Well, you can cue the Viking row in Arlington, Texas as Norway. They do that little row thing, like the Viking row. So they're going to be playing the Ivory...
In shape. The fans are in shape because of the rowing.
Exactly.
Canada
Everybody's engaged.
Right?
Yeah.
Love it.
It's Norway, Ivory Coast in one of the round of 32 matchups today on the World Cup schedule. France will play Sweden as well, and Ecuador faces Mexico in Mexico City. The World Cup games, by the way, are heating up this week as well. So we have been talking about the schedule. Let's talk about the heat that they're going to be playing in. Concerns are heightening over player and fan safety during some of these knockout games because a dangerous heat dome is engulfing parts of central and eastern United States. Scorching heat may also cause temperatures that feel like 44 degrees Celsius in some areas. You get the humidity and all of those factors going. 44, that's nothing to joke about. Conditions will bring above average temperatures to host cities such as Boston, Philadelphia, and Kansas City. Okay, over to the baseball where, hey, the Toronto Blue Jays snapped their 6-game losing streak last night with a 2-1 victory over the struggling New York Mets in the opener of a 3-game series at Rogers Centre. They're going to continue on tonight. And for the local baseball scene, Victoria Harper Cats are starting up a series against the Nanaimo Night Owls tonight, Royal Athletic Park, Wilson's Group Stadium, where not only is there baseball tonight, there's going to be a Canada Day fireworks night. That is part of tonight's game. And in basketball, 2-time NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will once again put on the Canada basketball jersey because Gilgeous-Alexander was the biggest name added to a Team Canada roster for the FIBA Men's Basketball World Cup 2027 America's qualifier. He spoke about how he's feeling during a news conference in Toronto.
Excited. Obviously, basketball is all of our pride and joys. Have fun playing it. And then to be able to do it on this platform with guys that we grew up with, guys that we played against growing up is another awesome feeling.
Hamilton's TD Coliseum will host 2 qualifier games as Canada faces Puerto Rico on Friday and Jamaica next week. Okay, that is your CFAX 1070 Sports. But speaking of sports, we will be giving away some Pacific FC tickets later in the show, later this hour, in fact. We got a 4-pack for you. It's for this Sunday when Pacific FC kind of returns from their World Cup break. They've been taking a bit of a pause during the World Cup. But they're not just getting back from the break. They are getting back with their brand new coach who's showing up starting at this game. So if you want to go to it, just heads up. Stay tuned for later on in the show. We will open up our phone lines. You'll get a queue and give us a call, and we'll take a random caller for the tickets. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Summerfest is on now, and Thrifty Kitchen's Kebabs set the stage for your summer barbecue. Choose from up to 8 ready-to-grill varieties. Okay, let's take a look at traffic and weather. Texter points out that they've still got the gas line installation on Caledonia. So Caledonia will be closed between Cook and Quadra. They're also mentioning Vancouver closed at Caledonia. So that is some gas line installation, which has just been ongoing there, causing some road closures today. One of the things to watch out for on your commute. For the BC Ferries, no sailing waits. The 7 o'clock sailing left okay with room left. The 8 o'clock is next. It's about 3/4 full at this time, so It's busy, but no sailing waits at BC Ferries. For the weather forecast, let's dive into this. So it's overcast right now, as you can see. We are going to get into a mix of sun and cloud as the day goes on. Highs of 19 degrees. It's very similar to yesterday. It's the same forecast, basically. Tonight, lows down to 11. Then tomorrow, for Canada Day, it's going to be cloudy to start again, just like today and yesterday. It's easing into a mix of sun and cloud for later in the day. Maybe a little windier tomorrow than it is today. A little breeze off the Wantafuka Strait mostly is where you're going to feel that. Highs of 18 degrees for tomorrow for Canada Day in that mix of sun and cloud. It's the same again on Thursday. Same forecast. We're just kind of carrying on like this. The difference I'll note on Thursday is yesterday in the forecast, we were thinking maybe a chance of showers was going to be a part of our Thursday. Well, that's gone. Forecasters now suggesting it'll just stay a mix of sun and cloud. Sunny on the weekends as we kind of just carry on this pleasant, stable weather. And right now, for the temperatures, it's 13 degrees at the airport. And in downtown Victoria, we are sitting at 14 degrees. First look at our market numbers. S&P TSX in Toronto is down by 42 to 34,781. The Dow in New York has gained 87 to 52,270. NASDAQ is up by 172 to 25,992. Canadian dollar at 70.4 cents US.
Don't attempt your morning commute without us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Wow, it's so cool that we've got this 50-50 going right here on this radio station, also with our partners, CTV Vancouver Island and 107.3 Virgin Radio. It's the Mega Summer 50-50 supporting CFAX Santa's Anonymous and the Kids Count program, which is helping children and families around Greater Victoria beyond Christmas. You simply just go to the site. You can find a link off of CFAXSantas.com or go to CFAX1070.com and navigate to our contest area. And you can find a link right there. And you buy tickets. You can buy one ticket for $10, 5 tickets for $25, 20 for $50. It's just like you go to the baseball game and you see a 50-50.
Yes.
It's that, but on a much larger scale.
It's changing it. We're using it to benefit local families.
Yeah. If you win, if you're the lucky ticket, you'll get half of the pot. You know how 50-50 works. And CFAX Santa's Anonymous and the Kids Count program gets the other half, supporting children beyond Christmas. So we're hoping to raise some money, one, so somebody can win a bunch of money, and two, so CFAX Santa's Anonymous can help do the things they do all year round. The tickets are on sale now. We just opened this yesterday.
Yes.
The deadline is Thursday, August 27th. So you got a bit of time, but don't sleep on it. And then the draw will be the morning of Friday, August 28th. That is when you will find out. Already we've raised, the full pot is $385.
Okay.
We just opened
Early
it.
days.
So the winner right now would take half of that, but we're going to make that a lot bigger.
Of course.
So go check it out. The Mega Summer Kids Count 50-50.
Could make your summer.
Totally could. 7:50. Now here are the headlines with Lisa.
A new BC Conservative leader, Carrie Lynn Finlay, has filled several roles on her leadership team with Loyalists. Finlay, who currently does not hold a seat in the BC legislature, has appointed Chilliwack area MLA Heather Maas as interim leader, while Prince George MLA Sheldon Clare is the opposition House leader. Both endorsed Finlay during the leadership race, as did Kelowna area MLA Macklin McCall, who will serve as whip. Finlay says the Conservatives are building a big tent party where BC residents of all walks of life are welcome. A key date for the critical North American Trade Pact agreement is set to come and go this week. It's tomorrow, July 1st, marks a deadline for indicating support for renewal of the Canada-US-Mexico agreement, also known as CUSMA for short. While Canada and Mexico have said they want a 16-year extension to CUSMA, the U.S. president continues to push back and for concessions from its closest neighbors. If the Trump administration fails to sign on for the longer-term deal, an annual rolling review of CUSMA will start and continue for the next 10 years, at which point the agreement would expire if not renewed. And police here in BC believe that capsized fishing charter boat that went down in very deep water off the coast of Richmond, 6 people still missing, the cause of the sinking not known. RCMP say the underwater recovery team now will arrive in the coming days to locate the boat using sonar. No one on board was wearing a life jacket. 4 people were plucked alive from the chilly waters, 6 missing, presumed drowned. That's your news to 7:16.
Thank you very much, Lisa. We're talking a bit about Canada Day with all of the festivities about to kick off. Well, some of them tonight. We've been mentioning some Sydney fireworks tonight before they do the parade tomorrow and all of these things going on. And another thing that'll be happening, although this isn't some official city event anywhere, this is just a grassroots initiative from a woman here in Victoria trying to get the entire country.
I love this.
To sing "O Canada" tomorrow on Canada Day at the same time. So for us, it would be 10 a.m., I believe is what she told us a while ago when we spoke to her. But all across the country, trying to sync it up so that at the same time, across the time zones, everybody sings "O Canada" at the same time. I think that is such a cool idea. And the woman behind this is going to join us in just a few moments. We talked to her before, but hey, it's the eve of Canada Day. Let's get Catherine Casey back on the line in just a moment to talk about how this is going and, just what you need to know if you want to take part in this. It's going to be kind of fun. Also, if you got a crash, accident, or some other hiccup along the commute, let us know at 71010 because our traffic and weather is coming up next. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For a comfortable home, no matter the season, big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps. They're designed for comfort. The South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. On the roads, as Texture at 71010 points out, that gas line installation on Caledonia is going to be closing down Caledonia between Cook and Quadra. Vancouver also affected there, so watch out for that as one of our construction-related delays. And just up from that, on Cook Street, just beyond Hillside, so just north of Hillside on Cook. Paving work again today, causing big delays, sometimes closures, both directions. And for the weather forecast, we are looking at a day that's going to start cloudy as it is now, but we will get to a mix of sun and cloud by later today. Highs at 19, which is exactly what happened yesterday. Tomorrow's forecast for Canada Day is the exact same thing, by the way. We're just in this sort of very stable weather pattern. It's going to be just kind of pleasant, as it has been. I keep using that word. Just a pleasant forecast for the next few days. Right now, for the temperatures, it's officially 13 degrees, but we're seeing 14 degrees for some areas, like in Colwood right now.
Thanks for starting your day with us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
If my next guest has her way, everybody will step outside at 10 o'clock Canada Day and sing the national anthem all together. Catherine Casey is here, the Victoria woman who's behind this synchronized national anthem event. Catherine, hello. How are you?
Good morning, Ryan. I'm well. You?
I'm doing great. Yeah, we talked about this a while ago because you were kind of trying to hype this up for a while. But here we are. We're almost there. How are things feeling now that we're a day away?
Well, Ryan, you guys were pivotal in helping us get started. After the show, I had hundreds of people sign up, so thank you so much for that. And the momentum has only continued to grow. My mom has been the spokesperson this year because I'm in the midst of moving, and she's been on CBC, she's been on CTV. We're getting on radio shows like this, and yes, word is growing. It's fantastic.
And this is so cool. Remind everybody again, because I know we spoke, but just for those who missed it and it's just coming on with a story. This is just you was it last year that you had this idea? This is not some commercial thing or anything. You just thought it would be really cool if everybody got together and sang together and made this big noise together. Talk about how this all started.
Yeah, exactly. So last year when things were looking a little rough with tariffs, 51st state, we had the wildfires, and I'm like, man, we need a lift, something like we did in COVID with banging pots. And I looked at my husband and said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if all Canadians sang the anthem across Canada on Canada Day at the same time? And he's like, did you just come up with that? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, let's do it. Let's do it. And so that's what it's been. It's nonpartisan. It's free. We are starting at 10 a.m. in British Columbia, and it goes all the way to 2:30 p.m. Newfoundland time. And just everybody get out. Doesn't matter where you are. Just stop at what you're doing at 10 a.m. in British Columbia and just sing your lungs out the anthem.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, trying to time sync it with the other parts of the country. So we do 10, other parts will do a little later for their time zone. But the effect would be hopefully everybody at the same time doing this. And this happened last year. Did you get a lot of people doing it last year?
I did. I had, in 30 days, we had 130,000 people sign up and do it across the country. We hit all time zones. And this year, I want it even bigger.
That's the goal. Get more people out there.
You got it.
So I'm wondering, because I'm curious. Tomorrow at 10, I'm going to just step outside. I'll sing, but I want to listen. I want to see if anybody else is doing it. I think that'd be cool if you could just hear it on the wind, just "Oh Canada" all over the place.
That is the dream. Yeah. It's like when you're in a hockey game and you hear everybody singing, and it's just like, oh, it really gets your goose pimples going. I want the same for Canada. I want people to be outside and just hearing it echoing through the skies. It's an inspiring moment, and it's a moment that generates community and unity across the country.
Now, obviously, you can just go do it, but there is a website you've got, and you're hoping people will kind of join in online as well. So how does that part work?
Yes, so it's All Together Canada, all with 2 L's, .ca, and you can sign up there to participate. And I'm just sending out emails as a reminder today to do it tomorrow. But the emails I've been getting, Ryan, people saying they're celebrating their anniversaries, people saying they're honoring their dads who've been in the military, people who are going to be in Ontario going to their church and playing the organ and singing it.
Oh.
It's been so touching. People have really been inspired by the movement, really touched by it, and they've been willing and open to share those stories with me, which I'm so grateful.
That's really neat that you're getting those stories. I love that people are using this as a way to kind of all connect and share stories like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more than what I'd hoped for. I was hoping, frankly, just do it if you could, but that you're able to open up and say why it's so important to you. I just thank you, Canada, for doing that, for giving me that gift.
All Together Canada. That's what this effort is called, and that's where you can find it online, All Together Canada, if you want to sign up. Or I guess if you go on social media too, is there like a hashtag or something you should include to make sure it is visible out there?
Ryan, you are marvelous. So I'm asking people to take a picture or a recording of you doing this and then posting it on the social media of your choice with the hashtag All Together Canada, and I'll find you from there.
There you go. Hey, if you're inspired, check all those things out. Get out there at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, BC time, and sing "Oh Canada," hopefully with hundreds of thousands of other Canadians.
That's what we're hoping.
That's the hope. Catherine, can I just, so this is the second year now. You started it last year, hoping for a bigger year. You mentioned your mom's out there pushing it as well, being a spokesperson. Is this just your life now? Like, do you now have to be the "Oh Canada" lady for the rest of your life? Or like, how do you have to push this every year? What's the future hold for you?
Well, I am going to push it every year until basically it just becomes what we do. I would love Canada to be known for the country that sings the anthem at the same time, coast to coast on Canada Day. And then maybe other countries would follow suit. I think that would be incredible.
Well, I guess we won't. This won't be the last we hear from you then. We're going to be talking to you again soon.
I would really like to think that would happen. Thank you, Ryan.
All right. Well, I'll let you get back at it. Good luck tomorrow. I hope this is a success because this is so cool.
And thank you for all your help.
Wow, cool. Catherine Casey, She is the Victoria woman behind this big effort, All Together Canada, to get everybody to sing at the same time tomorrow at 10. It was fun. We had a texter this morning, actually, even bringing this up, how they were hoping to get out there and do it and ready to make some noise and synchronized sing. That's so cool. Okay, what's coming up on the show? We do have Pacific FC tickets to give away, a 4-pack to the game, which is coming up on Sunday. It's the first game back from the World Cup break, and it's also the first game that they're coming back with the new coach. So that's going to be up on the show. The other thing that's coming up on the show, Lisa, I'm really interested in this. Do you know the name Ruby Liu?
Sure do.
Yeah, she is the woman who owns Mayfair Mall. She owns the Swanson Mills Mall over on the mainland, just across the ferry. Woodgrove Center in Nanaimo. So she owns these properties. Central Walk, her company, owns these properties.
Right.
She was trying to create a series of department store experiences at the defunct Hudson's Bay companies, and there was a bit of a legal battle over that made quite a lot of news recently. So she's somebody who's been in the news a lot, but she's not somebody we've ever had a chance to talk to. But now we do have that chance because she's going to be joining the program at the end of the 8 o'clock hour. So don't miss that. A chance to meet and talk to Ruby Liu, the woman behind those properties, and just some interesting ideas. What is the future going to hold for her and places like Mayfair Mall? We're going to talk to her in about an hour, a little over an hour.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take a break right now, though, because 7:30 News is next.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island.
Downtown Victoria is alive with free soccer-themed events, live match screenings, and more. Details at downtownvictoria.ca. Celebrate summer at the 59th Annual Saanich Strawberry Festival, Sunday, July 5th, 11 to 4 p.m. at Beaver Beach at Beaver Lake Regional Park.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
It's 7:30 on Tuesday, June 30th. Good morning. Welcome to the day. It's a little cloudy to start, but a mix of sun and cloud is on the way. And Canada Day tomorrow is looking much the same with a mix of sun and cloud. Full forecast to come. Right now, the news begins. Here is Lisa Best.
We have 19 active wildfires across BC this morning, and almost have to read it twice because it's such a far cry from what we've had in previous years. 4 new starts in the last 24 hours. There's no new fires on Vancouver Island, so it'd be great if we could keep that momentum going. A fire south of us continues to smolder in Olympic National Park. The weekend rain made a dent in the flames, but the Mount Tom Creek fire continues to burn with slow creeping behavior. Personnel are developing contingency plans to make sure everyone stays safe, especially with visitors in that area in the busy summer months. The body of that missing inmate from William Head Institution has been recovered in the waters off William Head. Ernest Johnson was found near the shoreline by RCMP Marine Services and the Metchosin Fire Department, which RCMP continued to liaise with the Correctional Service Canada and the Coroner's Office for the investigation into what caused his death. He escaped from the minimum security institution midday Sunday, causing much alarm within the community. The BC Nurses Union says it's willing to talk about a new contract. The union issuing a 72-hour strike notice. They'll be in a legal strike position on Thursday. They're drawing a line in the sand because they're pretty much fed up. The Health Employers Association of BC has reached out to representatives for the 60,000 nurses. Union President Adrian Gear says the mandate the association has from the province really hasn't changed.
Certainly, after giving notice, we have received word that the employer wants to return to the table, and we're happy to do so. The employer also made clear, at least in their message to us, that while they are committed to negotiating a collective agreement that meets the needs of nurses, that they have no ability to go outside of mandate.
Health Minister Josie Osborne says people continue to get the health care they need as the Labour Board has robust process in place to thoughtfully set out what constitutes essential service moving forward if the strike does happen on Thursday. The lights have been flickering off and on in Sydney and North Saanich 3 times in the last week. If you live in that community, you certainly know it. Keep an eye on your fridge and your freezer. Each one of those outages has impacted over 8,000 customers at a time. 2 were caused by trees on lines, the other from animals that got in the way. It's not usual for large outages, but there's complicating factors. BC Hydro spokesperson Carla Lowers explains that 5 circuits are currently tied together because of the substation work being done there.
So we've been working at the substation since early June, June 4th, and we expect to have it complete by July 9th. These outages, you can never plan for an unplanned outage, but having 3 outages to the same customers in 1 week, we did relook at how we've got those circuits configured, and we're working to reduce the number of circuits that are tied together so that if there is future trouble or, another fault in the power line before we complete that work, fewer customers will be impacted.
She says there are increasing visual inspections of the lines as well to deal with any problem vegetation that may be growing over them. The Pride flag is up flying at Victoria City Hall to mark the Pride Festival. Mayor Marion Alto says it's an important gesture.
To make the deliberate decision to raise that flag in front of City Hall is to say, yes, we know you're here. We welcome you being here. You're part of our community, and that's important to us.
9 additional flags representing the community will also be displayed on the Pandora Avenue side of City Hall. Those flags will remain in place until next week, June 13th. Victoria's Mayor Alto will be live on the CFAX morning show in about 15 minutes' time at 7:50 to talk about all the Canada Day events as well. With New Brunswick's new unpaid sick leave law in place, all 10 provinces now have some sort of job protection for those who need extended time off for serious illness.
People with illnesses such as cancer can take up to 26 or 27 weeks of unpaid leave without fear of losing their job. New Brunswick was the last province to increase job protection for workers. It adopted a law allowing up to 27 weeks of unpaid leave for illness and injury recovery, up from 5 days. Quebec has had long-term sick leave for more than 2 decades, but the rest of the country only introduced similar rules over the last 2 years. The wave of change came after Ottawa in 2022 extended unpaid medical leave for federally regulated workers to 27 weeks and EI sickness benefits to 26 weeks. Brenda Molina Navidad, The Canadian Press.
That's your CFAX News to 7:35. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning. We're asking, ahead of Canada Day tomorrow, how patriotic are you now compared to last July 1st? 29% say more, 8% less, and 62% about the same. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa Best, your news time is 7:36.
Thank you, Lisa. We have some sunshine eventually. It's a little cloudy to start, but a mix of sun and cloud is in the forecast with highs eventually to hit about 19 degrees today. It's 13 right now. Over to the CFAX 1070 Sports. Canada has a date and an opponent for its round of 16 match at the World Cup of Soccer. It's going to be Morocco on Saturday at 10 a.m. Morocco beat the Netherlands in penalties last night in Guadalupe, Mexico. This was a 1-1 tie by the end of all the overtime, so they went to the penalties, and Morocco beats the Netherlands 3-2 in those penalties. So now they'll face Canada on Saturday. Morocco, ranked 7th in the world, and will be favored to get past the resilient but lower-ranked Canadian men. Canada beat South Africa 1-0 on Sunday in its round of 32 match to get to Saturday. Cue the Viking row in Arlington, Texas, as Norway plays the Ivory Coast in one of the 3 round of 32 matches on today's World Cup schedule. France will also play Sweden, and we will see Ecuador face Mexico in Mexico City. So, yeah, some of those teams will be moving on, and some of them will be going home after today. Toronto Blue Jays snapped a 6-game losing streak last night with a 2-1 victory over the struggling New York Mets in the opener of a 3-game series at the Rogers Centre. For local baseball, Victoria Harper Cats have their fireworks night tonight ahead of Canada Day. That's going to be going on at Royal Athletic Park at Wilson's Group Stadium. It's as they start a 3-game series against the Nanaimo Night Owls, 6:35 for the game time. That's when they're going to start this 3-game series, which is again at Royal Athletic Park with the fireworks. In basketball news, 2-time NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will once again put on the Canada basketball jersey. Gilgeous-Alexander was the biggest name added to Canada's roster for the upcoming FIBA Men's Basketball World Cup 2027 America qualifiers. Dylan Brooks of the Phoenix Suns also made the squad there. So there you go. That's what's happening with Canada facing Puerto Rico on Friday and Jamaica next week. And I'll say it again just because we're about to give away tickets for it. Pacific FC, our local soccer team, playing at a Starlight Stadium, will return to action after a bit of a break for the World Cup. The Sunday matchup coming up will feature Pacific FC and Halifax, and it'll also feature our new coach, Terry Dunfield. His first game will be this Sunday. It's going to be a lot of excitement. Can he turn things around? Because Pacific FC still at the bottom of the CPL table. They have not had a win yet this season. It'll be a big one to see what kind of energy might happen with a new coach. Do you want to go? I got 4 tickets to give away in just a few moments. So here's the number to get ready to call, 250-386-1161. 250-386-1161. We'll open up those phone lines in just a moment.
Thinking about home renos, but the cost is too high? Think again. Explore affordable DIY options from ProTech Exterior Products at beahomepro.com.
CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. Well, the thing to watch today is just construction because the commute is pretty easy. There's not a lot of volume out there on this week of Canada Day, probably with a lot of summer vacations happening. If you're commuting from the West Shore into downtown Victoria, man, it's just a breeze today. You got nothing facing you. Unless I'm wrong, in which case text me at 71010. But as far as I can tell, it's easy peasy. And for the Cook Street paving, it's going to be, it's on now, affecting things northbound just past Hillside. So this is, sorry, I shouldn't say northbound. It's north and southbound, but it's north of Hillside. So Hillside north on Cook Street all the way to Summit is the stretch that's affected there. We've also got the gas line installation work that is Caledonia and Cook area. That's going to be affecting traffic on Caledonia towards Quadra and kind of all around that region. And for the weather forecast, we are looking at a cloudy start to the day, but a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 19 as we get further into it. Partly cloudy tonight, lows to 11. Tomorrow, clouds to start again, just like today, but then turning into a mix of sun and cloud for our Canada Day. Highs of 18 degrees. Mix of sun and cloud for Thursday. No longer are we calling for a chance of showers on Thursday. That was in the forecast to begin the week, but now we're looking at a dry week ahead. Losing the chance of showers. For the temperatures right now, it's about 13 to 14 degrees in that range, depending on where you are in the greater Victoria area. On the markets, let's check things early on this trading day. S&P TSX in Toronto up by 50 to 34,874. The Dow in New York up 78 to 52,261. The Nasdaq is up 232 to 26,062. The Canadian dollar at 70.4 cents US, which is in theory, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cent higher than yesterday, but is pretty much unchanged from the close yesterday. Oh. Hey, there was a sound effect there, and then it went away.
Short and sweet.
I think I pushed the button. You know, I always just get a little bit thrown off when it's not there, so I feel like I need to redo it. Here we go.
Ryan and Lisa. Mornings on CFAX 1070. Remember, you have us in the palm of your hand. For listeners on the go, listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
That feels better. Okay.
I feel centered now. I feel pleasant.
Pleasant.
It's a word for the day.
Just like the weather forecast. Pleasant is the word of the day.
It.
You know what else would be pleasant?
What's that?
I think it would be pleasant to win 4 tickets to go see Pacific FC taking on Halifax this Sunday at Starlight Stadium.
You can help them win.
Yeah, help cheer them on. 250-386-1161. Let's open up the phone lines and take that call now. I'm just taking a random caller.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not even going to look.
Crazy.
I'm not even going to look at the. I'm going to. Oh, wait.
Just point.
No, actually, this isn't working. I can't find the phone. Okay. Sorry. I have to at least look at the phone. Sorry, I tried, but then I was just hitting nothing.
Trying to make it so.
All right. I'm just
so fair that
Yeah. Okay.
We shoot ourselves in the foot.
I've picked a random number. So who's this on the phone? I think I've picked a line. Who's this?
Chris.
Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Fantastic.
We're glad you're there.
What are you up to today?
Yeah. I'm on my way to work.
On your way to work? Can I ask where you work? You don't have to answer that.
I work for West Bay Mechanical.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. That's a pretty good gig,
fair.
I'd assume.
Yeah.
It is.
Are you a spy on the side?
No.
No, not today anyway.
No James Bond activity. Just a working man.
No.
Just a working man who wants to go see some soccer.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got this 4-pack of tickets to see Pacific FC, and you're going to get to see the day that they debut the new coach. We're going to see Terry Dunfield, his first day behind the bench.
Well, hopefully he's better than the last one. We'll see.
Yeah. Have you been following the fate of the team? No wins yet this season.
I know. That's brutal. Yeah.
So
hopefully it's a good turnaround. Yeah.
Exactly. That's my hope. I'm thinking, this is the moment we turn this around and make this sort of crazy story out of like a slow start to the year, but a new coach and a new direction. That's the fingers
crossed moment. And Chris in the stands.
Yeah.
Having Chris in the stands, the spy that he is going to make all the difference.
Yeah.
I will do my best.
Chris, hold on the line. I'm going to get your information off the air, but that's just awesome. And if you miss today, don't worry. I will randomly slap the phone again to try to take a caller. Thursday, Friday, we got more 4-packs of tickets to give away towards the Pacific FC game on Sunday. Well, while I talk to Chris off the air, let's talk about the news, Lisa.
Okay, let's talk with some politics. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre shuffling critic roles in the Conservative caucus. Among the changes is Ontario MP Michael Chong taking over as finance critic from BC MP Aaron Gunn. Gunn will in turn take over the ethics and government accountability critic role from Ontario MP Michael Barrett, who moves on to veteran affairs. The federal government is set to match up to $4 million in donations for earthquake relief in Venezuela. Ottawa will match $2 million in donations made to the Red Cross and the same amount for donations to the Humanitarian Coalition until July 14th. Secretary of State for International Development and MP Randeep Sarai, says that the move will help Canadian organizations with grassroots connections provide essentials such as food, shelter, medicine, and clothing to the people on the ground. All these things in desperate need right now with the quake a week ago. The death toll from the devastating twin quakes has now surpassed 1,700 people, with thousands still missing. More than 5,000 are injured. Health Canada approving a generic version of Wegovy, that drug that's prescribed to help people lose weight. The weekly injection is known as Svima, and the Canadian company Apotex and the pharmaceutical equivalent to the weight loss medication Wegovy from Denmark's Novo Nordisk. Health Canada says this can be prescribed to people 12 and older as a supplement to a reduced calorie diet and increased physical activity for weight management. It's a third-generation medication approved by the government, though the first two were authorized for the treatment of type 2 diabetes in adults, which is what the drug was initially created for. And that is your CFAX News to 747.
Yeah, congratulations again to Chris. Thank you so much for calling and for listening and making CFAX a part of your morning. Hey, sometimes you win tickets because of it.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Pretty cool.
And sometimes you get to hear from the Mayor of Victoria talking about all the activities planned for Canada Day. Victoria's Inner Harbour is going to be a hub of activity. It's one of the places we're going to zero in on next as we talk about Canada Day in our community. So Mayor of Victoria coming up next right after traffic and weather.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Downtown Victoria is alive with free soccer-themed events, live match screenings, and more. Details at downtownvictoria.ca. Celebrate summer at the 59th Annual Saanich Strawberry Festival, Sunday, July 5th, 11 to 4 p.m. at Beaver Beach at Beaver Lake Regional Park. Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. Let me know if there's any trouble out there. But the biggest snag is kind of the construction work going on around. This is Caledonia around Cook. The gas line installation continues. There's also word of maybe a collision somewhere in that same vicinity. I don't know if that's the case or if it's just the construction, but just a bit of commotion. Caledonia Cook area where the gas line installation is going on. We've also got the paving work on Cook Street from Hillside northbound to Summits, causing obstructions all through the day today. Watch out for that. And then tonight at 7, Bay Street Bridge, an overnight closure as they continue to wrap up that work there. They're actually going to be doing overnight closures this week, although the one tomorrow for Canada Day, they're going to wait until after the fireworks crowd clears out. It sounds like they're going to delay the closure until about midnight. For the weather forecast, speaking of Canada Day, looking pretty pleasant. We got, mix of sun and cloud today once we get through these morning clouds, highs of 19. A few clouds overnight, lows to 11. Tomorrow's the same thing for Canada Day. It's going to start off overcast. Mix of sun and cloud as we get into it. Highs of 18 degrees, just a really nice mild day.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
It's Canada Day, lots going on, and as always, Victoria's Inner Harbour is a big centre of activity, and the mayor, Marion Alto, is here to talk more about what is in store. Welcome. How are you today?
Oh, very well, thank you. And that's a great weather forecast for tomorrow. Really sounds perfect.
Well, you know what, I was thinking about that because, you don't want it to be necessarily super hot because then it gets to be a bit of an issue. People get, sunstroke and heat stroke and all that stuff. You also don't want it to be cold and rainy, but this is just kind of this nice... We've been using the word pleasant way too many times on the show today, but that's the word of the day.
It is a great word because having it, I think you said it was 18 to 20 degrees. That's just warm enough to be comfortable, but not so warm that you feel completely exhausted after just 5 minutes of being outside. So, and a little cloud is a good thing, keep you out of that sun there. And so, that sounds like a perfect day for tomorrow.
So much going on. And actually, let's talk about it. There's a lot happening in the Inner Harbour. We got the fireworks, of course, which is happening in the evening. But what else is leading up to that?
Right. It is a great day. And you know that we've talked about before, we're a bit frustrated that we didn't get any funding from the province. But despite that, we are putting a lot of time and an investment into it. And so tomorrow's going to be a great day. It's going to start at about 11. And, of course, we're going to have this really interesting opening with the Wangsheng Kung Fu Club. They're part of a national event where at exactly the same time across the country, they're going to have a drumming demo, which is just fantastic. And then starting at just after that, starting at around 11:15, we're going to open a busking showcase. And all of this starts at Ship Point for the first afternoon, and then it's going to shift later on, which we'll talk about a bit. So at 11, we get busking showcase opens, and then all the food trucks start opening, which is also fantastic. And that's going to be all afternoon down at Ship Point. And then at 4:30, sort of go across the street onto the lawns of the legislature, where we'll have a bit of a welcome, of course. We'll start with some thoughts from our local nation leaders and the traditional dancers, the Lekwungen people, of course. A couple of comments from a few people like me and the MP and stuff like that. And then we're actually going to do something intriguingly unique for us here in Victoria. We're going to have a citizenship affirmation. And that's an opportunity for a whole bunch of people to, as a group, really celebrate the fact that they're becoming Canadian citizens, which does happen in quite a few different events, but it's the first time we've done it here, at least in a very long time. And then about 5:30-ish, we'll start the evening's entertainment lineup. And we've got 3 really different and interesting bands. We'll start off with Lingo, which you may know is a local band that's soul, funk, pop, rock, and R&B, that sort of stuff. And then we'll have a couple of sets from Butchin' Butchin', which is a Balkan brass band, super cool. And then a group called Covers in a Dangerous Time, which is a cover band, a live cover band, really eclectic sort of background and performances. And then around 9:10, 9:15, 9:20, it sort of depends on how the other sets go. We're going to set up for a little bit for about an hour with a DJ, another really eclectic playlist. And then, of course, heading over towards the fireworks, which should start, depending upon the light and the wind and all that stuff, at about 10:20.
Okay. Man, that's a packed day.
It is. Yeah, and the fireworks are going to be really cool this year. They're going to be, I think it's the largest one we've had since the 150th anniversary that we had. This is 159, so it's been quite a while. So we wanted to sort of, go out big because people seem to love fireworks. And so we were expecting a pretty decent crowd. And, of course, you'll want to get down there relatively early. And there's going to be lots to do all through the afternoon and evening, and very family-friendly. Lots of stuff for kids to do, of course, and lots of amazing food trucks, my personal favorite. And just a really cool opportunity to get downtown and celebrate everything Canada Day and learn a bunch of stuff from a number of the speakers and performers and just have a really great word, pleasant but exciting day.
Well, you mentioned already a little bit, but you were frustrated that there wasn't the funding from other sources to help out with these fireworks. But council still decided to do this. Talk about that decision and why it was important to still dig deep and find a way to do this.
Yeah, you'll know that this year we're spending about half what we had in previous years, and part of that was just being responsible about wanting to make as many different good decisions about keeping our various tax rates down as low as we possibly could while still delivering good services. And this, although not a service in the same sense as the things that you would normally associate with, this is a really important thing for Canadians, and I think particularly these days when we're surrounded. Well, quite frankly, I think the best word to use is a lot of chaos. We really do want to make sure that we have a very robust celebration on July 1st. It's a time for people to remember kind of who they are, why they live here, how so many people have chosen to live here, and why they want to make sure that this is, a country that not just they're pleased to be here, proud to be here, but they're really attuned to why they're here and why they want to stay here and make it a great place, the great place that it is. So we wanted to invest wisely, but also invest sufficiently to make it a memorable day. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil the excitement about tomorrow, but we were kind of frustrated that we couldn't get any contribution from the province, particularly because we're a capital city. And, we're one of the few provinces in the country that do not have provincial funding for their capital city to celebrate Canada Day. We know we're in Victoria, but we know that we draw lots and lots of people from the whole region and, frankly, from the whole province. And we often encounter people who are here as visitors from other parts of BC, and they come here specifically because they want to be in the capital city on Canada Day. And so, yeah, it was a bit of a sore point. And I will say, I want to give kudos to the 4 MLAs who represent Victoria as a city. All 4 of them went to bat for us with their colleagues and weren't able to convince them. But we will continue to suggest that that's a wise move, and hopefully we'll be able to get some traction on that next year.
All right. But despite those challenges, the fireworks are on, all the other stuff you mentioned going on. One of the bigger, longer fireworks displays we've seen since the Canada 150. So that's kind of cool. It's going to be a big do. Yeah. The Inner Harbor is the place to be. Yeah. Now, one last thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off.
No, that's right. You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a really exciting day. And I know I'm going to be out and about all afternoon and evening. And so I look forward to seeing everybody downtown tomorrow.
Yeah, one last thing. Just with that, logistical challenges, anything people should know about moving around downtown? What are you expecting there?
Yeah, for sure. There are going to be some road closures. So obviously, as you would expect, given what I've described, you won't be able to drive along Belleville Street in front of the legislature. You won't be able to drive right in front of the Empress, for sure. But around the rest of it, it will be congested because we do expect, as we have before, tens of thousands of people. So obviously, the best way down is either by bus or by bike or by foot. But there are, of course, parkades in the vicinity. There's the parkade by the library. There's certainly the ones that are down on Yate Street, et cetera, and a number of surface parking areas as well. But first choice, obviously, would be to take something that is more public transit oriented or something where you're on your own feet or on your own wheels. And either way you get downtown, it's going to be a great afternoon and evening.
Marion Alto is the Mayor of Victoria. Canada Day is tomorrow, all culminating in that big fireworks display around about 10:20, give or take the conditions. And thanks so much for joining us today and talking to us about it.
Always a pleasure. We'll see you around tomorrow.
8 o'clock news next on CFAX.
Home Show with Tony Joe.
Everyone wants to know about real estate. Is the market going up or down? Time to buy or sell? How can government programs and policies affect you? Hear from local experts on topics like appraisal, inspection, investment, and others on how to maximize your real estate sale.
Providing info on everything you needed to know about real estate. The Whole Home Show with Tony Joe. Saturdays at noon on CFAX 1070. CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on Tuesday, June 30th. Cloudy start, but a mix of sun and cloud coming at us today. It's the same again tomorrow for Canada Day. Right now, it's 14 degrees. get you a full forecast in a moment. Right now, the news begins, and here is Lisa Best.
Thank you and good morning. The Nanaimo RCMP sounding the alarm regarding collisions at pedestrian crosswalks. 2 teens hit Sunday afternoon at the intersection of Departure Bay Road and Bay Street. The kids were treated at the scene. They have non-life-threatening injuries, luckily escaped major injury. But the 40-year-old driver of the Mustang that was involved is cooperating with investigators. They determined it was driver inattention that contributed to the collision. The driver was ticketed for failing to yield to a pedestrian in a crosswalk. So Nanaimo RCMP asking drivers to pay more attention behind the wheel, especially in areas of high pedestrian traffic. The BC Nurses Union has issued a 72-hour strike notice just weeks after its members voted to reject a tentative contract offer. The union, representing 60,000 nurses, says the actions signal growing frustration by its members with pressures facing their profession and the healthcare system. Union President Adrian Gear tried to reassure the public ahead of being in a legal position to strike on Thursday if there's no progress in negotiations.
We understand that this announcement may cause concern for patients and the public. Nurses share this concern. No nurse takes this step lightly, and no nurse wants to see disruption in care. We have taken every step to ensure that access to patient care continues and that essential services are maintained in the event job action is required.
Gare says the strike notice is a demand for nurses to be heard and valued as they're facing increasing safety and burnout issues. She says job action could be anything from overtime ban to large-scale withdrawal of services, excluding those, of course, that have already been designated as essential. We're doing very well with our wildfire situation across BC so far this summer. 19 active fires burning, 4 new starts in the last 24 hours, but no new fires on Vancouver Island, and crews are working hard at the fires that are burning. This is a fire in the Northwest Territories. It's grown to more than 100 square kilometers in size, and it's creeping dangerously close to the homes in the village of Fort Simpson now. The island community of 1,300 people was ordered to evacuate to Yellowknife on Sunday due to the out-of-control blaze on its doorstep. Residents who stayed behind have been told to shelter in place because the flames have now reached at least one highway west of the main town site. To Venezuela, where the MP overseeing Canada's foreign aid says Ottawa will match up to $4 million in public donations for Venezuelans still reeling from last week's devastating earthquake and subsequent aftershocks.
Randeep Sarai is Secretary of State for International Development and says Canadians have a strong affinity for the people of Venezuela. He says Ottawa will match up to $2 million in donations made to the Canadian Red Cross and the same amount for donations to the Humanitarian Coalition up until July 14th.
They say this will help Canadian organizations with grassroots connections provide essentials such as food, shelter, medicine, and clothing to those on the ground. Meanwhile, responders still undertaking rescue operations, searching through the rubble with hope beginning to fade. ABC's James Longman on the ground in Venezuela.
Teams from over 20 countries are working around the clock, dogs and drones, carefully navigating the collapsed buildings to find the missing.
Tell her to tuck her feet back in.
In hard-hit La Guera, where nearly 200 buildings fully collapsed, a U.S. team rescued a 51-year-old woman trapped after a 10-hour effort. And in Carabayeda, the rescue of a 21-year-old man who was buried under the rubble for 106 hours. We met the youngest survivor. Diana managed to keep her 18-day-old son, Juan David, alive for 30 hours under the rubble.
Venezuelan lawmaker Jorge Rodriguez says the death toll has climbed over 1,700 and more than 5,000 people are injured. And bad weather this morning in the South Pacific has forced NASA to postpone the launch of a first-of-a-kind project. ABC's Jim Ryan says the space agency will try again tomorrow to send a satellite-fixing robot on a mission to save a doomed space telescope.
Since 2004, the Neil Gehrels Swift Observatory has been sending back amazing images of stars at the end of their lives, but it's suddenly dropping out of its orbit.
If we do nothing, Swift will re-enter the atmosphere
and burn up, says NASA's Regina Caputo.
And so there's nothing to lose.
An aerospace startup called Catalyst has been hired to design and deploy a robot to hook up to the Swift telescope and haul it approximately 100 miles higher, extending its life by a decade. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's your news to 8:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question we're asking you, since we're on the cusp of another Canada Day, how patriotic are you now compared to July 1st of last year? 30% say more, 8% less, 62% about the same. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa, best your news time is 8:07.
Thanks, Lisa. We've got some sunshine eventually, a little overcast to start this Tuesday. Right now it's 14 degrees. Get you a full forecast in a moment. Right now, over to the CFAX 1070 Sports, and let's begin with our World Cup report.
This is your TSN Radio FIFA World Cup 2026 update.
I'm John Rodenberg. It'll be Canada and Morocco in the round of 16 at the World Cup. Morocco advanced, defeating the Netherlands 3-2 on penalty kicks.
What a story in the Estadio Monterrey! What a clash!
The two teams had battled it out through 120 minutes, even at one. Morocco tied the game in the first minute of stoppage time after the Dutch opened the scoring in the 72nd minute. Canada and Morocco will meet Saturday afternoon in Houston. In the biggest upset of the tournament so far, Paraguay finally converted on its third penalty kick attempt to win the game, defeating Germany 2-1. It's the first time in its World Cup history the Germans have lost on penalty kicks. There was also late drama for Brazil, which scored a 95th minute winner to defeat Japan 2-1. Three more knockout games today, kicking off at 1 p.m. Eastern with Norway against Cote d'Ivoire, followed by France and Sweden, and the nightcap, Mexico meets Ecuador. You can watch the FIFA World Cup matches on TSN, CTV, Crave, and streaming at tsn.ca. Listen on the TSN Radio Network with all game streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
There you go. The World Cup report and a quick look at some other sports. So we've got in baseball, Toronto Blue Jays finally snapping their 6-game losing streak. They finally got their win with a 2-1 victory over the New York Mets to open up a 3-game series at the Rogers Center. Toronto's Kevin Gausman will face New York's Nolan McLean in a battle of right-handers coming up. And for the local baseball scene, it's a fireworks night tonight. Just in time for Canada Day, we've got the Canada Day fireworks night. Harbor Cats hosting the Nanaimo Night Owls. The game starts at 6:35. Fireworks to happen a little later into the game. It's the beginning of a 3-game series for those two teams. And for tennis, Serena Williams is set to return to center court at Wimbledon for her first singles match in nearly 4 years. The 44-year-old American will face 20-year-old Australian Maya Joint in first-round action. Williams accepted wild cards to play both singles and doubles with her older sister, Venus, at Wimbledon this year. That's your CFAX 1070 Sports to 8:09. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Summerfest is on now, and Thrifty's Kitchens Kebabs set the stage for your summer barbecue. Choose from up to 8 ready-to-grill varieties. On the roads, collision reported. This is in the Caledonia area. We've also got that gas line installation work going on around Caledonia and Cook, and now this collision is being dealt with. It looks like emergency vehicles have been on the scene at Caledonia and Quadra. So a couple of things going on there, causing a few backups. Watch out for that, and update us at 7:10:10 if you see any other problems. For the Cook Street paving that is on Hillside to Summit, delays expected there throughout the day and throughout the week as paving continues. For the BC ferries, let's check in there. No sailing waits right now. The 9 o'clock sailing is next. There's still room for vehicles. And in the weather forecast, today looks a lot like yesterday. We're starting off cloudy, but we will eventually see some sunny breaks with temperatures getting up to about 19 degrees as a high. Tomorrow, Canada Day, looking very much the same. You'll wake up to some cloud, get some sunny breaks as the day goes on. Highs of about 18 tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, both kind of the same. It's actually a very stable forecast. We were originally, at this time yesterday, thinking a chance of showers might be in the forecast by Thursday. Right now, that's out of the forecast. Now looking dry for the whole week and getting even sunnier, actually, as we get towards the weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, clearing up, and we will see temperatures starting to ratchet up towards the mid-20s by Sunday. On the markets, here's what's happening. We've seen a bit of a turnaround for the S&P TSX. It started the day up. Now it's down 2 points to 34,821. The Dow is up by 80 to 52,263. The NASDAQ up 179 to 25,999. Canadian dollar at 70.4 cents US, which is about the same place as yesterday.
Ryan and Lisa are ready when you are.
Good morning.
Day or night, find the highlights under latest audio at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
And we've been talking a lot about Canada Day tomorrow and getting ready for all the things that'll be taking place. I mean, starting tonight, Sydney's got their fireworks tonight. Then they do the whole
10:15.
Yeah, they do the parade and everything tomorrow.
They have live music starting at 7:30 as well.
Yeah, tonight's really the kickoff in Sydney for all of this. The Inner Harbour, we were just talking to the mayor, Marian Alto, about all the things going on, culminating what they just described. She told me, the mayor, that it's going to be their biggest fireworks display and their longest fireworks display since the big Canada 150 celebration a few years ago.
We've kind of seemed to have flipped the script a little bit in the sense that we were going to cut back.
Yeah.
There was talk about not having fireworks at all some years, and now we're going big.
Yeah.
I think we should. You know, the patriotism is a necessity, a mother invention, something to that effect. Yes. With the tariff war continuing and being called the 51st state, we're not having any of it. So, yeah, we can't rest on our laurels. We have to shake the red and white, and tomorrow is our day to do that. And I think the World Cup and Canada going the distance so far.
That kind of helps, eh?
Oh, 100%.
Just a bit of that national pride is on display on the pitch.
Yeah, forging new ground on the pitch and making us one more reason for us all to be proud about be Canadians. So.
And also earlier in the show today, in case you missed it, we talked to the Victoria woman who is, again, for the second year organizing this event where she wants every person in Canada, as many as she can, to get out at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning and sing "O Canada" all together. There's nothing else to this other than they got this website, All Together Canada, if you want to check it up and sign up. She would love you to do that, but really she just wants everybody to stand outside at 10 o'clock, well, BC time tomorrow morning, different time zones across the country. But the idea is all of Canada, can we all get together and sing "O Canada" at the same time?
She seemed perpetually surprised that it's gone this far.
Yeah, because she's just a Victoria woman who wanted this. There's no organization here. There's no big thing. This is just this woman who thought this would be cool.
But you know,
I love it.
Terry Fox was that kind of young man in his early 20s where I'm just going to go do this. And if anybody wants to sign on, so be it.
Yeah.
And look where that went. So you just never know, the traction that a movement like this can gain. And power to her for doing it. I want to mention one other thing on two wheels that's happening tomorrow.
Okay.
There's a motorcycle run. If you're interested, it's a really fun one. Every year there's a Hawaiian Canada Day motorcycle ride. There's no fee to get in, but you have to wear a Hawaiian shirt over your gear. So it starts at 10 o'clock at the Juan de Fuca Rec Center, Island Highway in Colwood, and they've got quite a few riders signed up. So the more the merrier. Safety first, wear all your gear, and wear a Hawaiian shirt. The photos coming out of it are very funny. Very cool.
There's another thing you can do on Canada Day, but of course it's more than all of this. It's also a time to reflect on our rights and privileges as citizens, and it's a day for new citizens to join Canada. Yeah, they always do the oath swearing ceremonies.
Yes.
For new Canadians who
Very
are just
moving.
becoming citizens.
Lots of tears.
We're going to talk about that because a guy we've heard from on CFAX for years, Gerald Pash. He is a retired citizen judge, a former broadcaster, all of these things, and he's also involved in these swearing-in ceremonies, and he's going to be taking us through what will be happening because he's joining us in the studio. I see him out the hallway, so he's coming in a moment. Do you know who else is coming in?
I don't.
This has nothing to do with Canada Day, but in case you've missed it, we have Ruby Lou joining us in the studio. She's been in the news for a lot of reasons. She owns Mayfair Mall, the what's the one up in Nanaimo called again?
Oh, now I'm drawing a blank.
The Woodgrove Center.
So
Nanaimo.
someone from Nanaimo is going, what?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Woodgrove Center, Nanaimo, Sawasan Mills and Delta, the Mayfair Shopping Center. So she's that. She also, they've just opened this new thing. I don't know if you've heard about this. Right across the street from the Mayfair Mall in what used to be the Bed Bath & Beyond, something called Deerland has just opened.
Oh, interesting.
She's involved in that.
Okay.
It's a children's play area, but
That's smart.
on steroids.
Oh, really? There's a lot going on. You want to be a kid again?
That's my own words. It just looks like a very odd and awesome thing that we haven't quite seen before. And why is it called Deerland? I want to ask her that. So Ruby Lou, who's behind all these things, is going to join us in studio in a little bit here. So stay tuned for later this hour. But before we get to all of that, we should get updated on the news. And here is Lisa.
The federal government is set to match $4 million in donations for earthquake relief in Venezuela. Ottawa will match up to $2 million donations made to the Red Cross and the same amount for donations to the Humanitarian Coalition up until July 14th. Secretary of State for International Development and MP Randeep Asare says that the move will help Canadian organizations with grassroots connections provide essentials to the people in need. The death toll from last week's devastating earthquake has now surpassed 1,700 people, more than 5,000 injured, and thousands more believed to be missing under the rubble. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre has shuffled critic roles in the Conservative caucus. Among the changes, Ontario MP Michael Chong will take over the finance critic position from BC MP Aaron Gunn. Gunn will move over to the Ethics and Government Accountability critic role, and Ontario MP Michael Barrett moves to Veteran Affairs. And Health Canada approving a generic version of Wegovy, that drug prescribed to help people lose weight. The weekly injection, known as Vemima, from the Canadian company Apotex, is a pharmaceutical equivalent to the weight loss medication Wegovy. Health Canada says it can be prescribed to those 12 and over as a supplement to a calorie-reduced diet and increased physical activity for weight management. It's the third generation of these medications approved by the department, though the first two were authorized for the treatment of type 2 diabetes in adults. And that is your CFAX News to 8:18.
CFAX at 70, traffic and weather coming up next. CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. It's 8:21. There is a collision situation going on at Quadra and Caledonia Emergency vehicles were on the scene a little bit ago, so they're dealing with a situation there. Just watch out for delays. And then not far from there, Caledonia at Cook, that's where the gas main installation has things closed down today. So lots of obstructions in that neck of the woods. If you can text me at 71010 if you see any updates there. BC Ferries, no sailing waits. And in the weather forecast today, it is overcast to begin with, but we are taking a look at a mix of sun and cloud for the rest of the day. Highs at 19. It's the same story for Canada Day tomorrow, with clouds to start, but a mix of sun and cloud and a high of about 18 degrees through the day for our Canada Day. Right now, it's about 14 degrees, give or take, around Greater Victoria.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, one of the aspects of Canada Day we're going to talk about right now is the idea that this is the day that a lot of new Canadians join the country and take their citizenship oath. Somebody deeply involved in that is joining me in the studio right now. I'd like to welcome Gerald Pash. He's a retired citizen judge, also broadcaster, lieutenant commander for HMCS Esquimalt. He's a lot of things, and he's in the studio right now. Gerald Pash, welcome. How you doing?
Thank you, and good morning.
Great to see you here. So first off, let's just talk about you and your involvement in all this. Place yourself in this story.
Well, I was a citizenship judge for 6 years from 2012 to 2018. And one of the things that citizenship judges do is community outreach. And a aspect of that is citizenship reaffirmation, where the general public does the citizenship oath. And I've been carrying on that since my term ended. And I have done affirmation ceremonies in a number of locations. This Canada Day period, of course, I'll be doing it in advance of the Harbour Cats game tonight, just before singing the national anthem at 6 o'clock or so. And tomorrow on Canada Day, out at Fort Rod Hill at noon in advance of the 21-gun salute, and at the City of Victoria ceremony at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll have the whole crowd do the citizenship oath.
So the whole crowd will do it?
Yes.
At the game?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, and talk about the significance of this oath.
Well, one of the things is people don't realize that up until 1947, the notion of being Canadian was actually only a geographic adjective. The inspiration for Canadian citizenship came to near the end of the Second World War. Paul Martin Sr. visited the battlefield cemetery at Dieppe in France. 700 of those buried there wore Canada on their shoulder, but the wooden crosses identified them as British subject, as put there by the German defenders at Dieppe. Mr. Martin realized that many were immigrants to Canada, or the children of those who immigrated to Canada at the turn of the 20th century. He was determined that while they came from many different nations and they held different beliefs, no matter what their national origin, they should be recognized as Canadian. And Canada was the first country in the Commonwealth to establish through legislation a unique Canadian citizenship status separate from Britain.
I never knew that. That's really interesting. Charles, how many people have you made Canadians?
Oh, tens of thousands. Over 6 years, I would have done hundreds of citizenship ceremonies. Also would have not approved probably 5,000 or 6,000 along the way who didn't meet the 6 requirements to become a Canadian citizen.
What are some of the requirements?
Well, you must be a permanent resident. Now you must have been in Canada physically present for 1,095 days in the 5 years immediately preceding your application. If you're up to 54 years of age, you must show basic capability in English or French and not have an active criminal record.
Well, you've got an example. Actually, it's not an example. It is the oath here with you. Is it possible that we could kind of go through this and give everybody an example of what this sounds like?
Certainly, but first, but it's important that people realize that the citizenship oath is not a one-way pledge. Because the King in the coronation oath promises that Canada is to be governed in accordance with Canadian law and custom. It's thereby guaranteed that the Canadian Crown, at the apex of our government, protects our rights and freedoms. And the Canadian Crown in right of Canada does not depend upon the personality of the sovereign. We're swearing allegiance to Canada through the personage that represents all of what Canada aspires to be and can be. But yes, we can do that. How about raising your right hand, Lisa and Ryan?
Okay, so
Well, we're
that's
official.
the first thing we
Okay.
got to do. Raise right hand. Okay,
Yep.
raised.
And right after me.
And we have to do this with you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
I affirm
I affirm
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to His Majesty,
to His Majesty,
King Charles III,
King Charles III,
King of Canada,
King of Canada,
his heirs and successors,
his heirs and successors,
and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada,
and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada,
including the Constitution,
including the Constitution,
which recognizes and affirms
Which recognizes and affirms
the Aboriginal and treaty rights
the Aboriginal and treaty rights
the Aboriginal treaty rights, yes,
of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples,
of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples,
and fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen.
and fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen.
And that last part there is actually a revision to the citizenship oath, because 5 years ago it was revised in accordance with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to include that reference to First Nations. And actually the oath recognizes that Canada's not perfect. We do many things right. There are wrongs to be made right. Indigenous people were not considered citizens until 1956, and most could not vote until 1960, which are basic rights of citizenship.
Why do I feel like I just got married?
Well, in a way, when people become Canadian citizens in an official capacity, that is a kind of a marriage to the country. And with that, there is a citizenship affirmation certificate, which I have for each of you, Lisa and Ryan.
We got presents.
And Morgana, your
So nice.
assistant out here. This certificate is presented to those Canadians who, having reflected on the values, rights, and responsibilities of Canadian citizenship, have demonstrated their commitment to Canada by reaffirming their citizenship. And there they are.
Fantastic.
Now, okay, one other thing I'd like to point out, though, that really, what does Canada ask of us in return? What does Canada ask of us? Canada only asks that we obey the law, which we've just promised to do, that we vote in elections, that many people actually throw away that right. We accept jury duty if summoned, take responsibility for ourselves and our family, contribute as we're able to improve our neighbors and protect the environment. And that's all that Canada asks of us. When we give of our time and resources, we create a better country, and everybody has something to give.
It's Gerald Pash.
Oh.
There we go, doing the oath right here on the radio.
So
and
good.
A bunch of folks at the Harbor Cats game will be doing that as well. Tonight, you said?
Yes, right.
That's tonight.
I've got goosebumps.
That's amazing.
It's
Thank
good.
you. Look, I got this.
You're
I got
official,
this.
Ryan.
I'm
Should have been
official now.
inscribed on the back.
We thought you were sketchy, but no, you are a true Canadian.
Look at that. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio, and good luck tonight.
Okay, thank you kindly.
There we go. Canada Day. It's tomorrow, and we will be talking more about that, of course. Right now, though, we'll take a quick break. It is the 8:30 news. Next.
Developing political story, a big doozy.
Vashi Capellos.
What started as a dull day is anything but.
The top newsmakers.
Your go-to political debrief. Daily.
What is really going on?
The breaking news.
Just moments ago.
And the entertaining analysis and debate to follow.
I don't think you can sugarcoat it. It's an issue.
It's not true, guys. Yeah.
Vashi Capellos.
There is a greater plan here.
Vashi Capellos. Weekdays 9 a.m. to 11.
Bigger picture politically, which
is on CFAX 1070. CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning. It's 8:31 on this Tuesday, June 30th. It's going to be eventually a mix of sun and cloud after we get through an overcast start to the day. Full forecast, including your Canada Day forecast, coming up in just a moment. But right now, the news begins, and here is Lisa Best.
Labor disruption we don't want to hear about. BC's nurses could be in a legal strike position by Thursday. The union issued a 72-hour strike notice yesterday afternoon. Union President Adrian Gear says nurses have reached the breaking point.
We are demanding to be heard. Nurses are demanding that our work be valued. And we are demanding that government and health employers recognize a simple truth. There is no healthcare system without nurses. For many nurses, this is more than a collective agreement. It is about a profession that has reached a breaking point.
Gear says the strike notice is a demand for nurses to be heard and valued as they're facing increasing safety and burnout issues. She says job action could be anything from an overtime ban to a larger scale withdrawal of services, excluding those, of course, that have already been designated as essential. Prime Minister Mark Carney will attend the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey next week before he jets off to Saudi Arabia for bilateral visits with the Crown Prince.
NATO members are gathering on July 7 and 8 under pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump to show up with credible plans to ramp up defense spending to 5% of their GDP by 2035. In the meantime, Carney has been campaigning ahead of the summit to rally allies in support of establishing a multinational defense bank to finance defense sector growth. Carney's office says this will be the first visit to Saudi Arabia by a Canadian prime minister in 26 years and the first to Turkey in more than a decade. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Stats Canada says our economy rebounded in the month of April with 0.5% growth in real GDP.
A strong showing from the oil and gas sector helped power the economy at the start of the second quarter. Growth was otherwise widespread across industries, with manufacturing, construction, and the public sectors all contributing to gains. The rebound comes after a contraction in March dragged the first quarter of the year into slightly negative territory. The result had sparked talk of a recession hitting the economy after a pair of consecutive quarterly GDP declines, though most economists said that label was premature. Michelle Zedikian, The Canadian Press.
A defense technology company that helped protect Canada's north has added another massive asset to its arsenal, $139 million. Dominion Dynamics founder Elliot Pence says cash forms the largest Series A funding round for a Canadian defense company ever.
I think it feels like an inflection point. Not just in the country, obviously for the business, but it's critically important that we have investors that are willing to take a swing for the fences.
The round of financing Pence drummed up was led by Toronto-based venture capital firm Georgian. And Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has shuffled his front bench lineup and named Ontario MP Michael Chong as the party's new finance critic.
Chong is a veteran MP who served as the Conservative Foreign Affairs critic for the last 6 years. He replaces Jasraj Hallan in finance as the Alberta MP moves to the National Revenue File. BC MP Aaron Gunn is taking over the Ethics and Government Accountability critic role from Ontario MP Michael Barrett, who moves over to Veterans Affairs. Poilievre's senior leadership team, including his deputies and House leader, remains unchanged. Lisa Laporte, The Canadian Press.
And that is your CFAX News to 8:35. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning. We're asking, ahead of Canada Day tomorrow, how patriotic are you now compared to last Canada Day, July 1st, 2025? 30% say more, 8% less, and about 62% say about the same. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news times 8:37.
Thank you, Lisa. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Bluebird Cabs. Need a cab? Download the new Bluebird Cabs app at Bluebird Cabs LTD. They're proudly local and Canadian-owned and run since 1946. Do you have a quick collision still being dealt with at Quadra and Caledonia? Listeners reporting that that's still affecting things a little bit. There were emergency vehicles spotted there dealing with whatever that was. You can update us at 7:10:10. Over to CFAX 1070 Sports, where at the World Cup, Canada now has a date and an opponent for the round of 16 match at the World Cup. Morocco, who beat the Netherlands in penalties. So they were tied at 1-1 at the end of all the overtime. They went to the penalty shootout, and Morocco wins 3-2 in the penalties. So that is going to be the team we face. Canada faces Saturday in Houston, 10 a.m. I can tell you, CFAX 1070 will broadcast the game. We'll have it live here on the radio, like we've had these Canada games at 10 o'clock. Morocco ranked 7th in the world and will be favored over the lower-ranked Canada, but we'll see how our men's team can do as we get ready for that game. The World Cup games, by the way, are heating up this week, and I'm talking about literal heat because there is a heat dome which is engulfing parts of the central and eastern United States. I mean, I think a bit of Canada is facing this as well, but as far as the World Cup is concerned, it's causing temperatures to soar into the with humidity, like 44 degrees Celsius, conditions that'll bring above average temperatures and humidity to cities like Boston, Philadelphia, and Missouri. So some of those World Cup games are going to be quite warm. Over to the baseball, Toronto Blue Jays snapping a 6-game losing streak last night with a 2-1 victory over the struggling New York Mets in the opener of a 3-game series at the Rogers Center. We'll see them at action again today. And the Victoria Harbour Cats baseball team with their Canada Day fireworks night tonight. Harbour Cats hosting the Nanaimo Night Owls. 6:35 is when the game starts, and then the fireworks a little later on tonight. And as we were just learning from Gerald Pash doing the citizenship oath with us a few moments ago, Lisa, you and I got to reaffirm our citizenship there.
I feel better about being that.
We got our certificates, and he said that he's going to be there at the Harbour Cats game tonight doing the citizenship oath with everybody in the crowd.
That's exciting.
I think that's really
I
cool.
wonder if he gets nervous anymore. Probably not.
Probably not. He's probably done a few of these. But
as long as they don't have him pitch. That's different. First pitch, that's stress.
What if you had to do that while giving the oath?
Well, let's just make us all Canadian again.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get that far.
Luckily, you just have to repeat after me. Mm-hmm. That's all you have to do. All right, that's your CFAX 1070 Sports. It's 8:39. We're going to come back with our traffic and weather. And then we mentioned earlier in the show that we have a really exciting guest to tell you about. We have Ruby Liu in studio with Central Walk. They're the folks that have, Mayfair Mall and a few malls around town. And now also a new thing called Deerland, which is opening up where the old Bed Bath & Beyond used to be, just south of Mayfair there. What's that all about?
It's pretty cool.
We're going to learn all about this coming up next, so stand by. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For a comfortable home, no matter the season, and big savings on your heating bill, talk to Coastal Heat Pumps, designed for comfort, the South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. On the roads, we do have that continued collision situation at Quadra and Caledonia. There is a emergency vehicle situation there dealing with some kind of collision. I still see it backed up a little bit, so let us know if you see anything there, but I believe it's still being dealt with. We've also just a little up the road from that at Cook and Caledonia have the ongoing gas line installation work, which is going to close the road completely. I think it's from Quadra all the way up to Cook Street. That whole stretch closed for the gas line installation today. So you got that. You got the collision. That's just a place to watch for and maybe avoid in the commute this morning. For the weather forecast, cloudy with a mix of sun and cloud coming at us later today. Highs of 19. Few clouds tonight, lows to 11. And then tomorrow, for Canada Day, you are looking at a cloudy start, but then a mix of sun and cloud into the day, just like today, just like yesterday, with a temperature reaching a high of about 18 degrees. Right now, it's 14 in Victoria.
The best way to start an island morning. Ryan and Lisa on CFAX 1070.
Well, it's my pleasure to welcome into the studio a couple of people involved with Central Walk. They have made many headlines as a retail operator locally with businesses in some of our most recognizable malls in a changing retail landscape. Today, we get a peek behind the curtain as the company eyes new possibilities for the old Hudson's Bay space in Mayfair. I'm happy to welcome two people into the studio, Chairwoman Ruby Liu of Central Walk and also CEO May Wang, who's going to be acting as interpreter today as well, I understand. So to both of you, hello and welcome to the studio.
Hello.
Hello.
We're so glad to be here.
Great to have you both here. And right off the top, I just wanted to talk about the fact that you've got a thing opening up, I think, is it today or just recently? It's called Deerland, and it's right south of Mayfair Mall. It's in where the old Bed Bath & Beyond used to be. Is that opening up today? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, should I translate to her?
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
他就是问是不是有一个叫 Deerland 的今天要开业呢？
是的 yes.
Yes, that's the grand opening.
Grand opening. So what should we know about the grand opening?
他就是说想了解一下这个盛大开业会有些什么。
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been soft opening for about 20 days, and it's really popular right now. So we're really excited about the grand opening today. I think we will offer, we invite some very important people, and also we're going to have lion dance and ribbon cutting. So very exciting.
Excellent. And we should describe what this is for folks. It's for children and families. It's like a play zone, but talk a bit more about what it is. What is Deerland?
他想多了解一下 Deerland 是什么样的一个设施？
是全年龄段的快乐的乐园。
Yeah, it's a fun place. It's for all ages, all family, and to gather together and enjoy and explore the different experience, including mini town, trampoline park, arcade, and more.
This sounds very unique. Like it's things we might have seen before, but not necessarily all together in one spot like this.
他说，就是听起来是很独特的，因为有一些可能类似的设施，但是我们这个应该是很独特的。
我们是维多利亚最大的，填补了全年龄段儿童欢乐的家庭，那个填补了这个空白。
Yeah, so this is, as I mentioned, it's for all ages, for family, and we believe it is the largest kids entertainment facility in the region, and we believe, on the island we need more this kind of facility, so we fill the gap. This is the new Deerland. They call it Children Museum, so more to explore.
Can I ask, why is it called Deerland?
Yeah, 他是说为什么他会叫这个鹿岛这个名字？
这个经营者的爱好，这个能让人家一下联想出去玩去快乐。
Yeah, the name is created by the owner, apparently. Deers, we see deer everywhere on the island, so that will remind people the island, the nature, and the happiness.
Oh, that's yeah. You do see a lot of deer here. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, let's. So that's what's going on right now today, and we want to talk more about a lot of the things that you're involved in. But one of the things I'd like to start with maybe is Ruby Liu. Just a bit more of an introduction of you. We've heard about you in the news because of your ownership of these local malls, Mayfair. There's the Woodgrove Center in Nanaimo. There's the Swanson Mills over on the mainland. There was also the efforts to try to acquire some Hudson's Bay leases and create this department store experience. And we'll talk about all of that. But I think a lot of listeners would love to know, what was your background? How did you get here? And, why? We know you're from China, and you that's where you started. And then you came to BC. And I'd love to know a bit more about the background and why BC? Why come here?
对他们就是想了解一下你的背景，知道你在中国从事这个购物中心行业，然后在这里有几家大型购物中心，为什么你会选择 BC， 选择这个岛上？
主要是说我选择了这美丽的温哥华岛，有善良的人们，非常健康环保的食物，这个非常的安定。我的家里大多数时间都不锁门的，所以说我要幸福、快乐、安全、健康的在这里长寿。
Okay, yeah. So she shared yes, because this is such a great place to live. Vancouver, Victoria, Vancouver Island, BC. It's a beautiful place, nice people, and a good culture, fresh food, fresh air, and yeah, especially feel very safe to have her business. She says she doesn't even lock her door, her home door. Yeah, it's very safe, and she can do her business, and she won't contribute to the community.
And now, retail and the malls is what this business does here. Was that the same in China? Was this what you did in China before coming here?
他说，购物中心，你的从事的这个行业，在中国是同样的购物中心行业。
中国的就多样化比较多，比这个超前，在建设和招商品种比维多利亚岛上的比较超前，比加拿大超前。
Yeah, so in China, shopping center is a similar concept, but provide more experience, more selections for customer, for shoppers. That's why she wants to bring this experience to Canada.
So in that context, is that one of the goals you have for places like Mayfair Mall to sort of bring more of those experiences you find in China to Canada, to places like Victoria?
对，他说是不是这就是你的目的，想把这些很好的经验带来加拿大的商场？
我想把亚洲最好的东西都带来我们碧溪省这个岛上，这个需要时间和要战胜很多困难。
Yeah, definitely. She wants to bring more exciting experience, excitement to Canada, to her shopping center, but it will take time. And maybe some challenge, but she's confident she will bring her passion to the shopping center to achieve the new concept for the shopping center.
I would like to ask more about what that new concept could look like, what it actually would be like, if you don't mind, but we have to take a break. But when we come back, I'll ask that. And also, I know that you were in the news quite a bit, Ruby, for the Hudson's Bay leases you were trying to take on in the rest of Canada to, I guess, do something very similar to that. So is that something we still might see play out in a place like Mayfair Mall? So these are all questions I'd love to ask once we get back from the break, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we're talking to, by the way, Ruby Liu, who is chairwoman of Central Walk. They own all of these malls. And we've got, you're hearing the voice of May Wang as well, CEO of Central Walk, and today acting as interpreter. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job, by the way, of keeping it flowing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be back in just a moment here on CFAX 1070.
This summer, 3 of Vancouver Island's biggest voices are coming together to make a real difference.
Get your tickets now for the Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50.
Brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV.
In support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas.
The Mega Summer 50-50.
Your chance to win big while giving back.
Buy your tickets today at CFAX1070.com.
Gaming event license 174660.
CFAX 1070 Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Summerfest is on now, and Thrifty Kitchen's kebabs are setting the stage for your summer barbecue. Choose from up to 8 ready-to-grill varieties. So traffic and weather still haven't any updates on the situation at Caledonia and Quadra, at least for the last 10 minutes or so. Last check, it was a collision. Emergency vehicles are dealing with that at Quadra and Caledonia. So maybe just watch out for possible obstruction still there. We do have the gas line installation work closing all of Caledonia from Quadra to Cook as well. So there's a lot going on there. Just watch out for that. No sailing waits at BC Ferries. 9 o'clock sailing still has some room left. And for the weather forecast today, cloudy to start, mix of sun and cloud by the end of it. Highs of 19 degrees today. And that's the same forecast for our Canada Day tomorrow. Right now it's 13.
Let's get started.
Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Getting back to our conversation now, we have in studio Ruby Liu, chairwoman of Central Walk, and Mei Wang, CEO and today interpreter, as we talk more about the operations at places like Mayfair Mall and all these places and what the future may bring for those and for Victoria. So thanks again to both of you for coming into the studio today.
Thank you.
So we were just talking before the break about sort of the future vision for places like Mayfair Mall and I guess all of these operations you have here and, you know, what the ultimate goal is for these places. So maybe we'll pick it up there if you don't mind.
他就是想了解一下对于 Mayfair 的将来，还有这些的Bay的将来，你有什么计划？
那个购物的习惯的变化，时代的进步，迫使我们维多利亚的城市增加新的变化多端的旅游景点，让旅游客能留下来，迫使他们玩更多的项目。所以说我们要多增加吃喝玩乐这些，把传统的买东西变革为欢乐快乐的城市目的地。
Okay, so she believes shopping center should be a fun place for people, for customer, and we want to provide more experience and encourage longer visits, stay longer in the cities, stay longer in the shopping center. So our vision for the former Bay space is to reposition this as a key driver for the shopping center for Mayfair. And right now we're planning to introduce strong competitive anchor store and new drugstore to enhance daily needs convenience. And also in addition, we are going to bring a new concept that's Asian food culture inspired. We call it night market. That kind of concept really exciting. to introduce to Mayfair.
So that will be within the old Hudson's Bay location?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I don't know much myself about the idea of the night market, but I've heard over on the mainland there are these night markets, and they're very food focused, right? So is that kind of the
food and culture?
Food and culture, right?
Yeah.
So that's would that be like a daily thing, or what would that look like?
Yeah, that will be a daily, everyday daily food culture market, food hall. It's brand new concept versus our traditional food court.
Okay, and so the food court still would be doing its thing,
Yes.
but this would be in addition too.
Yes.
Okay, wow. And when is this in the works right now, or what stage is that at?
对他想了解现在这个贝的改造在什么阶段？
我们正在报建，增加新的庙街市集，会增加很多亚洲的美食，它是会变成一个维多利亚那个新的一个热点。
Okay, yeah. The currently is in the permit application process, and our goal is to create this unique destination for all the visitors, customers. There will be a new destination, not only shopping but also enjoy food, different food culture around the world. And so she believes shopping center should be a place including entertainment, food service, and more experience, more excitement.
So it's in the process of being put together for that Hudson's Bay space at the Mayfair Mall. Yeah. We're just about at a time, but really quickly, would that also be the case for the Woodgrove Center and for Swanson Mills, the same kind of idea for those as well?
Woodgrove 和那个 Swanson Mill 也是这样的目标嘛，去改造。
是的，我们要都把这个3个商场建的都是吃喝玩乐，把这个百货减少，把这个更多的面积拿出来，变成快乐的地方。
Yeah. That's the same idea, same passion, same vision. We are aiming to maybe reduce retail, but increase the portion of entertainment, food service, and more experience.
This has been wonderful to hear about your plans and your vision for these spaces. Ruby Liu is chairwoman of Central Walk. They own those malls. We've also got Mei Wang, CEO, and our interpreter for today. It's been a pleasure to have both of you in the studio. This has been a lot of fun, really interesting. I know a lot of people are curious about, the future of these spaces, and it's been great for you to share some of that vision here today. Thank you.
Us. 谢谢.
Thank you. And good luck with the Deerland grand opening as well today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We could have kept going. We had so much more we could have talked about, but maybe we'll just do it again sometime. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks to Morgana Adby for producing today's show. Lisa's got your news to 9 o'clock coming up next. And we'll talk again on Thursday with special Canada Day programming for tomorrow. Talk then.